It is just about time for the first pitch of tonight's ball game. A beautiful afternoon in the Arena District for Game 5. You heard me, Game 5 of this series. It's going to take most of the season, I think, to get used to saying that. 5 and 6 games in a series. It is 71 degrees under sunny skies in the Arena District with not much of a breeze at all. Probably the best day we have had for baseball. Let's get you the starting lineups. Brought to you by MILB.TV. Clippers fans, watch the Indian Stars of tomorrow with MILB.TV. All games, both home and road. Streamed live. The only place to watch the Clippers on your phone or on your computer is on MILB.TV. Go to MILB.TV for details. Leading things off for the Omaha Storm Chasers, Edward Olivares is in left field, followed by Lucius Fox, the designated hitter. Kyle Isbell will be in center batting third. Ryan McBroom, the first baseman, bats fourth. Mabrice Valoria, the catcher, fifth. Emmanuel Rivera is at third base, batting in the sixth slot and the bottom third of the order for the Storm Chasers. Anderson Miller in right field. Alcides Escobar at second base. And Kevin Merrill will be the shortstop. The Clippers will look like this in their 1 through 9. Oscar Mercado in left, Daniel Johnson in right, Owen Miller at second. That's your top three in the batting order. Then Bobby Bradley cleans up at first base, followed by the shortstop, Gabriel Arias. Bradley Zimmer bats third and center. Nolan Jones back in there today, batting seventh at the hot corner. Ryan Lavarnway, yesterday's Grand Slam hero, is the designated hitter, batting eighth. Gavin Collins ninth at catcher. Jackson Kowar will start for the Storm Chasers. Eli Morgan will get the ball for the Clippers, going through his warm-up tosses out on the mound right now. Clippers in the home white pants, navy jerseys with the Circle C ship logo on the left chest, same logo on the crown of those navy blue caps. For Omaha, road grays, powder blue jerseys. Storm Chasers across the front in blue and white, and thankfully, unicolored numbers on the back in bright white on those baby blue uniforms.
All the things that make our day, right? Being able to identify players is high on the list.
It certainly is that. Eli Morgan, right-hander, 5'10", 190 pounds, out of Torrance, California. 25 years of age. He has had nothing but success in the minor leagues at every stop but here in AAA. He made one start for the Clippers at the end of 2019 during the regular season. He made one start for the Clippers this year, and neither has gone particularly well. This year he went just 3 1/3 innings, 3 runs on 5 hits, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Last year allowed 3 runs on 5 hits in 5 innings in his lone regular season start. So his AAA numbers are not very good, but outside of that, boy, he has had a pretty steady and successful ascent through the minor leagues. First pitch for the Indians at Mahoning Valley back in 2017. 2018 had very good numbers, and did in 2019 as well. Pitched most of the season with Akron, where he had a .379 earned run average. His first 6 starts of the year in Lynchburg, he had a sub-2 ERA. The right-hander rocks and fires, and the first pitch is a called strike in there to make it 0-1 against Olivares. Control and an outstanding changeup. The calling cards for Eli Morgan. There's one, and it's popped up. First base side. Easy pickings for Bobby Bradley, who camps out underneath, and he will squeeze it for out number 1.
Well, nice way to start the game for Eli. Gets a called strike, and then very quickly induces a very hot hitter to pop up harmlessly on the right side. So just the way you want to get it going. And again, if you're a control pitcher, you want to start off under control, and that's what he does on the first batter.
Left-handed hitter now. Lucius Fox digs in at designated hitter. They play him to bunt on the third base side. First offering is a fastball at 90 for a called strike, and that's about where Morgan's going to live. He can get it up there 92, 93, but he's going to be right around 90 miles per hour with the fastball. Check swing on another heater. This one is up out of the zone, and Fox held up, so it's 1-1. The changeup is his out pitch. He deals, and there is an off-speed offering cued, and I mean cued right off the end of the bat on the third base side foul.
Yeah, nice job there. 75 miles an hour on that, so you talk about pulling the string. He did that, and the batter's so far out in front of it, that's why it cued right off the end of the bat.
So now the count is 1-2. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him on that off speed. That'll do.
Yeah, it sure will. Nicely done. You know, we're these last couple of days when it's come to pitching performances, it's been kind of a mixed bag. So to watch Morgan go out there and just kind of go at the first two guys, get a couple of easy outs, it's a good sign to start this game.
In his first start, he allowed a hit and a walk in every inning that he spent on the mound. Starts Kyle Isbell with an outside fastball for ball one. Next pitch. Same spot, high and away, 2-0. It's kind of strange to see that. He pitched, as I said, 3 1/3 innings, so he didn't get through the fourth. But first, second, third, and fourth innings, 1 hit, 1 walk each inning. No more, no less. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss at the off speed. Boy, a lot of downward action on that, fading away.
Yeah, that was nice. And the first two pitches both missed high. That one coming out of his hand was at the same level, and all of a sudden it dove into the strike zone.
There's a pop-up. Went to the fastball. It's on the third base side. Nolan Jones with his glove up to fight the sun. Tracking it. Will hang on. It took a bit of a late dart on him back toward the pitcher's mound. But Jones stuck with it to make the catch, and that's a quick and quiet 1-2-3 top of the first for Eli Morgan and the Columbus Clippers, who come up after these words in a scoreless game. Clippers and Storm Chasers. Both teams have landed some heavy blows over the course of the first 4 games. We are tied at 2 games apiece. The Clippers won the opener. Storm Chasers came roaring back in the late innings to win games 2 and 3. And they did it last night as well to take the lead in the late innings and then expand upon it. The Clippers, though, would have none of it. A huge 8th inning. 7 runs on the board for Columbus, their biggest output in an inning this year. Turned a deficit into a lead and a win. Oscar Mercado to lead things off for the Clippers. The left fielder batting .182 on the season. Had a nice night yesterday. Two for 4, couple of doubles and a walk. He waits, and here's the pitch. Fouled back our way, out of play, strike 1.
Yeah, Oscar was certainly a table setter last night when it got to just the right time of the game, quite frankly. Had that first double that he had was a 2-out double, and then in that 7th inning, he had a big double there as well. He was a part of that, or that 8th inning, that 7-run 8th inning. He was a big part of that.
Kowar fires a fastball up and in. 97 miles per hour. He can bring it. The Weddington, North Carolina native. First round pick back in 2018. 1-1 pitch. Fouled back to the screen again by Mercado. 1-2 now. 10 to the University of Florida. Obviously a guy that the Kansas City Royals like an awful lot. Mercado waits. Here comes the 1-2. Slow roller third base side. Charging Rivera. Has it on the hop. Throws on the run. And a good throw to first base is in time to get the speedy Mercado. 1 up and 1 down for Columbus.
You know, when you look at Kowar and what he did in college was just, you know, he had great success there. With 25-6, 3.53 earned run average, played on 3 College World Series teams. Then you get into pro ball, and, you know, he's been pretty good. At the single A Wilmington, high A, he went 5-3, but then they moved him to double A, and he made 13 starts, and he went 2-7. So this is where you're great in college, and then you find out what kind of adjustments you have to make once you get into pro ball. And so he's kind of gone through that, but as you said, they like him. He's on a trajectory right now.
4th-ranked prospect, according to Baseball America, in the Royals organization. .6'5", 200 pounds. He looks the part out there on the hill, that's for sure. And he throws a fastball at 97 to Daniel Johnson on 0-1. That's a bit above the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tigers drafted him back in 2015. He didn't sign. Heading on to Florida. Johnson takes inside 2-1.
Smart. Sometimes.
Made a little bit more money.
Yeah, sometimes you read the room and you go, well, I'm going to bet on myself a little bit here.
40th round pick versus first round pick. Signing bonus slightly different. 3-1 now. In fact, there's not a 40th round pick anymore, so your signing bonus is 0.
Right. That's right. And this guy was just one of those guys that they knew from the time he was in high school. He was on the radar for a reason.
3-1 offering, swung on, popped up, foul, and that will reach the seats on the third base side. Full count.
As a senior, he was in the state championship game. He had a 3-hit shutout, struck out 14 batters. How many scouts you think were at that game?
Probably the same number that wrote up on the card that said draft this guy.
Yeah, 10-1 as a junior. I mean, some guys, they get on the radar early and then they just stay there.
3-2 pitch is high for ball 4. Daniel Johnson is aboard. First 2 appearances both came against St. Paul. He started opening day, and then the finale of the series went 5+ both times. Opening day, no runs, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts in 5 1/3. That's pretty good. Walked 2 batters in the first start, walked 2 batters in the second start. Generally speaking, looking through his career numbers, decent command. Less than 3 walks per 9. First pitch swing, and Owen Miller fouls it away down the right field line, 0-1.
Thing I find funny about those first 2 appearances, he pitched on May the 4th, and then he pitched again on May the 8th. It's pretty quick. 3 days in between.
Yeah, 3 days off.
And now he's gone 7 days before making this appearance.
The 6-game series, with every Monday being an off day, is going to play havoc with rotations in the minor leagues this year. Next offering, Miller fouls it away almost the same spot as the 0-1 pitch on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
The reason it jumps out is sometimes you go 3 days in between starts, but that's like in July and August. It's not normally
right
to start the season like that.
Sometimes if you only went 30 pitches, something went wrong. 0-2 against Miller. All he did was have another 3-hit day yesterday. Middle infield, pinch towards second base, looking for a ground ball. The 0-2. They won't get it here. It's a high fastball. Miller batting an even .500, 18 for 36. He's filling out all the columns. 7 runs batted in, 6 runs scored, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 1 homer, 3 walks. He's not been hit by a pitch yet. There's a wild one. All the way to the backstop. Valoria's not quite sure where it is, and he's claiming that it's stuck under the backstop, which turned out to be a farce. He was able to bend down and pick it up easy. So the wild one sends Johnson to second base and evens the count at 2-2.
When you're talking about Owen Miller, and early in the year when you see a guy with a .500 batting average, you expect to look at the stats and go, he's played in just a couple of games. He's got 2 hits and 4 at-bats or something like that. But, yeah, this is impressive. I mean, when you say you want to start the season the right way, this guy has done it as well as you can do it.
Swings and misses at a slider in the dirt. Down on strikes, Miller this time. 2 down for Bobby Bradley.
Well, he got what he wanted. He obviously wanted to throw it down and away into or almost into the dirt, and that's why he spiked that previous one, and it went all the way to the backstop there. So he had much better control the next one and was able to hit the spot the second time.
Bobby Bradley starting to come around now at the plate, batting .286 in this series with 2 homers and 5 runs batted in. Had a home run last night, the first of back-to-back jacks with Gabriel Arias, who is currently standing in the on-deck circle. Bradley takes a fastball high and away.
See, that's exactly why I tell people that I don't lean on stats so much, because you just made him sound really good, which he has been in this series, right? Batting .286. If you look on the year, he's batting .152. So that was a great portrayal by you. But that's how you can skew it. But the bottom line is he has been hot as of late.
He had a rough series at the plate against the Louisville Bats. Had a big home run in that 5-game series with the finale being rained out. That will not be made up, so the Clippers at best will play 119 games this year. But that series was a struggle with a lot of strikeouts. Once he got home, you started seeing, here's a pickoff attempt at second. Johnson's back in plenty of time. You started seeing Bobby recognize things better. There were more walks at the beginning of the series. Then the solid contact started. In yesterday's game, he flied out to left field, but really struck the ball well. It was something that he was working on with the coaching staff on the field prior to the game. And then, of course, got a pitch to turn around, which he smoked for a home run. 2-0 pitch. Boy, he was looking for something to drill there, but instead got a breaking ball, finished shoe tops high, and he swung himself down to a knee, 2-1. That's the art of pitching there.
Yeah.
You know it's a fastball count. You know the batter knows it's a fastball count. Let's not give it to him. Next one. Fastball, but up in the eyes, 3-1.
They're paying some attention to Mercado, or to Johnson, at second base. They already tried a pickoff move. I didn't think he had that big of a lead to try it, but they got that shift on, and the shortstop he's getting in there to hold him, make sure he keeps that lead short.
Changeup nibbles the outside corner for a called strike to fill the count now to Bradley. That's a good take there. That's not a pitch you're going to do anything with if you're not looking for a changeup, and it's going to fade to the outside corner, outside edge. He had a strike to give there, so now the payoff pitch. Threw it again and got a swing and a miss that time for strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Kowar. He allows a man on a walk, but no hits, and after an inning, no score at Huntington Park. Each team's come to the plate once tonight. Neither came away with any runs. Eli Morgan put him down 1-2-3 in the top of the first, so it's 4, 5, and 6 due up. Ryan McBroom to lead things off, followed by Mabrice Viloria and Emmanuel Rivera. McBroom has 3 hits in the series. All have gone for extra bases. 2 doubles and a home run. Just a 176 batting average, though. Morgan delivers and missed the outside corner. 1 ball, no strikes. Quickly back to it, gets a swing and a miss. Boy, that registered his fastball speed, but had some downward motion there at the end.
Yeah, in the meantime, McBroom is kind of hard to figure out in this series. We saw him hit a big home run earlier in the series. He's got a good, powerful bat, but he just hasn't been consistent with it.
Looks at a fastball right down Main Street. Morgan with the locks flowing out underneath that Clippers cap. Ahead in the count, 1-2. Kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Came with the off-speed pitch. It was up. But McBroom could not stay back on it.
Oh, McBroom had to think that was a fastball. And you're right, it was up. It was high. It was above the letters high. And he made him look silly with that. It was only 75 miles an hour, and McBroom could have spun himself into the ground with that swing that he took.
If that swing path was about a quarter of a second later, that would have done some significant damage to the baseball. Here's Mabrice Viloria with the bases empty. 1 down, curveball outside. Morgan working quickly here with the bases empty. Goes the off-speed in for a called strike.
You know what I like about him early in this game is he's trying to make pitches, and if he misses, he's not afraid to go right back to the same area again. It's almost like, that's not quite what I want to hear. Let me try that again. Boom, there it is. And that's exactly what happens here. That first strike that he throws just stays a little bit too far to the outside. Second pitch, much better break on it. Goes backdoor, catches a corner.
1-1 delivery. Breaking ball misses down. Left-handed batter Viloria. They play him to pull a bit on the infield, but not an overshift. Next pitch is fouled away.
It's just how you can tell when a pitcher is feeling it. You can see the confidence in Eli Morgan right now. And that's not to say that all of a sudden a pitch or two gets away and your confidence gets shaken. But right now, he's just, give me the baseball. I'm going to have it around the plate. Hopefully I'm going to hit the spot that I want to. But if I don't, I'm going to do it on the next pitch. That's how he's approached this whole thing. And, Valoria's he's no dummy. He's a catcher. And he gets in there and then he steps out. He's just trying to break the rhythm right now.
With 2 strikes, they do go into the triangle shift on the right side of the infield. Valoria swings and fouls back the breaking ball to the screen. Still 2-2.
Is that what you call it, the triangle shift?
I do. You've got the 2 defenders shallow, 1 deep in the outfield grass. You look at them from up top, got yourself a little triangle there.
That makes sense.
Patent pending.
I didn't know if that was your thing or if that was like the thing now.
Well, I started saying it a few years ago, and I liked it. Here's a ground ball up the middle, and that's going to get under the glove of the shortstop. Arias was positioned pretty well, but the ball took a funny hop off the back side of the mound and seemed to dip on him a little bit. He thought it was going to come up. It stayed down, and so that'll get through for a base hit for Valoria.
Yeah, it's that hop right there. You saw he was bringing his glove up. He thought that was going to skip a little bit higher than it did. Maybe some top spin on there. When it hit the dirt, it just stayed a little bit lower and kind of shot toward the outfield. But, Morgan, what does he do? He gets the ball. He turns around. He points at the shortstop. He says, you and me on a ball hit right back here, okay? Just shakes it right off.
Emmanuel Rivera in. And the pitch to him is a check swing. Pitch was outside. He did not follow through. So 1 ball, no strikes to the third baseman. Rivera 3 for 4 in the series, batting .216 on the year. Couple of homers, 9 batted in. Scoreless in the top of the second inning. Off speed, swung on and missed. 1-1.
This is another guy that's shown signs of being a big power hitter in this series, and then at other times, Clippers pitchers have had him so far off balance, much like that pitch right there, that they've taken that away from him. But Morgan, that seems to be his M.O., at least his first time through the lineup against these big hitters. Hey, guess what? If you're going to hit it, you're going to have to hit a change. I'm going to spot my fastball. May or may not be in the strike zone. But I'll tell you what, my change probably isn't going to be in the strike zone, but it's going to look to you like it is.
Pickoff attempt at first. Runners back in plenty of time. Morgan has his sign, kicks and fires. Low fastball, pickoff attempt, nothing doing. 2-1 count.
Well, they're paying attention to Valoria. Obviously, that's the pickoff attempt, and that's the second time that Collins has looked down that way, and he fired it down there this time. So I don't know what they're seeing. I don't know what they think they might know. They want to keep him close.
Morgan ready, delivers, and a big swing and a miss. Went with the fastball that time.
But he continues to keep it up around the letters. He continues to keep that. When the ball's coming out of his hand, it's on such a plane where those guys think they can hit it. And it stayed right there, and they can't catch up with it. As a hitter, your job is to adjust the second time around, but as long as it's working that first time around as a pitcher, you just keep on going with what's working for you.
There's a big bender curveball that looked like strike 3 to everybody in the ballpark except for the one guy whose opinion mattered. That's the home plate umpire.
Maybe he thought he was going to see a change. And again, that one was a little bit up, so maybe that's why he didn't get the call. But it just seems like he's trying to start everything in that coming off his hand in the very same spot, so it's hard to pick up what the pitch actually is.
Payoff is fouled away. We'll do it again.
And again, we talked about this yesterday, the day before, when you were talking about, pitching and how it's adjusted to the uppercuts of the hitters and the launch angles and all that stuff. That's a big key. If every ball coming out of your hand looks like it's the exact same pitch, if you get that extra fraction of a second before they can recognize the spin on the ball, or you're going to have a late break on it, that's to your advantage as a pitcher.
That's all the difference. Jonathan Parra calling the balls and strikes tonight. John Bacon at first, and Cody Clark is at third base. Runner goes on the pitch, and that pitch is popped up, but a lot of backspin is going to carry it back behind the screen and out of play.
Well, that's why they keep watching him. they know at some point he's going to go. And they want to get him going for a couple of reasons. Number one, maybe a ground ball, and it keeps you out of a double play. He is the catcher. Obviously can run, though. On a base hit, you could wind up with guys at first and third. Have a sac fly type situation set up for you.
Draws a throw, and he's back.
And again, in those situations when they're running him, that's having the confidence, too, that Rivera is going to be able to get a hold of one of these pitches. Because if you're going to miss high, you're going to a swing and a miss is going to put your catcher in a great spot to catch that ball and throw to second.
He goes again. It's a swing and a miss on a changeup. The throw down is in plenty of time, and they got him. That's a good tag high on the body. Well, Bob McElligott, seems like you've seen a baseball game or two. A strike him out, throw him out, double play ends the top of the second inning here at Huntington Park. Clippers coming up after these words in a scoreless contest. Great night here in the Arena District. Folks out watching the Clippers. A lot of people in the stands, a lot of Penguins in the stands, and right now there are no runs on the scoreboard. Got some looky-loos out on Nationwide Boulevard. Was that a leather fanny pack?
I don't know. Here's a question I haven't been asked since, well, never.
I mean, listen. If it carries your valuables, good on you.
You know what, though? I'm going to write that down. I'm going to make a note of that right now because I believe I can make a gold call out of that. So if you ever hear it,
I expect attribution.
I hope you're in the car with your kids and you say, I did that. They'll probably ask you to stop so they can get out.
Sure. Well, for that and various other reasons. Gabriel Arias to the plate for the Clippers. The shortstop takes a first pitch up for ball one. Hit his second home run of the season last night. He's had a good couple of days. Checks his swing and a pitch inside. He has raised his batting average over the past few games to 276 now. Just a couple of days ago, it was well below the 200 mark. Still early enough in the season where you can do that. You can have a couple of hot days, turn things around. 2-0 pitch. He swings, and it's at high in the air to right field. Not deep enough to do any damage as long as Anderson Miller can keep his eye on it, and he does. Makes the catch inside the stripe for out number one. Brings up Bradley Zimmer, and Zimmer could use a couple of hot days. Batting just 148. 4 for 27. All of his hits have been singles. Now, he's walked 5 times, so he's shown a good eye. On base percentage, 361. That's a respectable number. But, of course, he wants to see a lot more in the hit column. First pitch to him is a called strike. Overshift defensively on the infield. Here's the pitch. That's a slider with some life now for a called strike. Make it 0-2. Now, we just saw a shift. I don't know if they'll stay with it or not. Where the first baseman is the deepest defender of the three over there. Ryan McBroom is a couple of steps on the outfield grass. The other defenders are on the infield dirt. 0-2 pitch. Fastball is off the outside corner at 98 miles per hour.
Yeah, you're right about that shift.
So they are respecting the ability of Zimmer to turn a pitch around and hit it hard down the line. They want to give Ryan McBroom as much leeway as possible. Instead, a ball hit to the gap in right center field. Isbell will get over as it hangs up, and he'll make the catch. Now, the challenge, if there is a ground ball hit down the line to McBroom, Bradley Zimmer can really run. So it puts a lot of pressure on the pitcher to get over and cover the bag in time because McBroom is not going to win the race fielding a ground ball on the outfield grass. Didn't matter there.
I was thinking that, though. They must do a lot of pitcher fielding plays. They must work it to death because you better be ready, as you just said, to cover. If you're the pitcher and you see that shift, and they got it on again. So your legs better be moving.
They don't have 3 defenders on the right side, but McBroom is back on the grass as the first pitch bender is in for a strike to Nolan Jones. Next pitch, same one, same result, 0-2. Well, Nolan just needs something to go right for him right now. 0-2 pitch, fastball, high and away, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Batting just 100, 3 for 30 for Nolan Jones. It has been a rough adjustment to his first AAA experience. 1-2 pitch, fastball, swung on and missed, strike 3, and that will do it for the Clippers. They go in order here in the second. We are scoreless in the Arena District with the Storm Chasers coming up after this. Two scoreless innings at Huntington Park. Series tied at 2 games apiece. 2 more to go tonight and tomorrow between the Columbus Clippers and the Omaha Storm Chasers. As we go to the 3rd inning, I'll hand the play-by-play microphone down to my broadcast partner, Bob McGilligan.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much. It'll be the bottom third of the order coming up for the Omaha Storm Chasers. Eli Morgan starting for the Clippers tonight. He has faced 6 batters over the course of the first 2 innings. He did give up a 1-out single in the second, but a caught stealing to go with a strikeout. Part of a strikeout, throw him out double play ended the inning. So he has faced the minimum as he gets set to pitch to Anderson Miller. Miller hitting .345, 3 home runs, 3 runs batted in on the year. And the first pitch is a breaking ball, and that's a little bit low for ball 1. Anderson Miller, a left-handed hitter, facing the right-hander Eli Morgan. Morgan has been all around the strike zone in the first 2 innings of this game. Next pitch, swung on, hit hard and deep down the right side, but very foul. Seen that a couple of times for these Omaha hitters where Morgan has laid a ball out there and they have been so far out in front of it that it has no chance of staying fair. That last pitch was only 73 miles an hour. Evens the count at 1-1, and the next offering is outside. Went with a fastball away. Didn't get it to go where he wanted to. Anderson Miller's been hot here through this series, and here he fouls one straight back to the backstop. Miller just looking to get something started for the Omaha Storm Chasers. You know, the pitchers have dominated the first 2 innings of this game. Next pitch is swung on and foul tip. Tried to run a breaking ball in on the hands. Actually, good idea. But Miller just spoiled a good pitch. Here comes the next offering. Swung on, ground ball to first. Bobby Bradley charges in, gloves it, and steps on the bag himself for the unassisted putout. Again, a nice job by Morgan. A bit of a battle. He hasn't had a lot of battles in the first 7 hitters. He has dictated the way this game is going to be played. And that time he had to, keep on going there and change it up. Alcides Escobar is going to be the batter now, and Escobar comes into the game batting just 111 with no home runs and no runs batted in. Escobar, right-handed hitter, and the first pitch from Morgan is swung on and missed. And that is strike 1. That was just a straight fastball that he couldn't get the bat on. Next offering, popped him up. And this one is going to be on the first base side. Bobby Bradley coming in, giving way to Lavarnway, or to Gavin Collins, I'm sorry. The catcher gets it in foul territory. And there are 2 outs. That'll bring up the shortstop, Kevin Merrill. Merrill hitting .261. He's got no homers and 3 runs batted in. Another lefty at the plate. Clippers will shift the second baseman, Owen Miller, over toward the right field line a bit. First pitch swung on and served into right center field. That's a 2-out single. And that ball finds the gap, and it actually goes to the wall, but taking his time getting to first was Merrill. I think that as he was watching that, he thought, well, that's a single. But what happened was the right fielder, Daniel Johnson, went over, didn't exactly have a great angle, and it got by him. Johnson just moving over to his right, and that ball, he just couldn't get there. I was going to say the ball speeded up, but I think it just was maybe a misread. And then Johnson dove for it. Merrill came around first base, and he looked and he said, doggone it. I think he'd already started to put the brakes on, thinking the ball was going to be cut off. And that's a break for the Clippers because now there's just a man at first base with 2 outs back to the top of the order. And a throw to first base. Merrill dives back safely. Edward Olivares popped up to Bobby Bradley his first time up. There's a turn and a throw back to first base, and again, the runner is back safely. Olivares had a 9-game hitting streak that he had snapped. Yesterday did not get a hit. Here's the next pitch, and that is in there for a called strike. He did get on base, so he continues with a 10-game on-base streak. They have him alternating between starting in left field and center field. Happens to be in left field tonight. Throw to first, and again, Kevin Merrill dives back safely. Well, you look at what Eli Morgan is throwing tonight, and even the fastball, 89, 90. The off-speed pitches he's throwing are in the 73 to 75 mile an hour range. And that could be why Omaha feels that they can run on him. Here's the ball served down the right side. That ball is slicing, but it stays fair. Bounces off the wall. It's picked up by Johnson. Fires it to the cutoff man, and there was a little pump fake as the ball was cut off. I don't know if Owen Miller was ready to throw to the plate or not, and he might have had a chance. With a good throw, I think they would have had a close play with Kevin Merrill, but the throw ended up sailing high. Merrill is in without a play at the plate. And advancing to second base is Olivares. So it's a 1-0 lead for Omaha. The way that whole thing set up, initially I thought that Merrill not getting to second on the ball that he hit might cost the Storm Chasers a run, but it didn't. And I'll give a lot of credit to Brian Poldberg, who's coaching at third base for Omaha. He didn't hesitate in sending Merrill all the way around. First pitch to Lucius Fox is outside for ball one. So it's a double for Olivares. And, of course, he picks up the RBI. I mentioned he had that long hitting streak snapped. He gets right back to it. Here's a fastball on the inside corner. That's a strike. I'll tell you, that ball that Olivares hit, he just did keep it fair. Got it down in the corner, and it stayed true for him. Next pitch, swung on, slapped back to the screen, foul ball. Count is 1-2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second base. Omaha out to a 1-0 lead here in the top half of the third. Eli Morgan, long time to get the signs. In fact, so long that Fox finally calls time. I was wondering how long it was going to take him to request time. He finally does. Now he's set and ready to go again. Here's the 1-2. Runner going. Pitches down low for a ball. Throw to third, and they will not get him. That'll be a stolen base for Olivares. And that was a fastball at 91. But there's got to be something that the Storm Chasers see in Eli Morgan that is allowing them to think that they can run. Now, the throw was high down to third, but you also had Nolan Jones, who's playing way off the bag, and had a hustle over there to try to make the catch and the tag all at the same time. Not an easy play. Count is 2-2 in the pitch. Inside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. So again, they feel confident in running against Morgan. Now, when you're running from second, the good base runners will tell you it's easier to steal third than it is to steal second base. And that's because of the lead that you can get from second. Here's the pitch, fouled out of play down the left side. Because you can almost time it out when you're getting that lead away from second base. If you do it right, you can lead away and almost break into your stride all at the same time. And that's especially true if you have a pitcher that is deliberate in what he does. Here's the next pitch, and it is a check swing foul ball at the plate. So Lucius Fox will not go away. He struck out his first time up, and he does not want that to be his fate this time around. Count is full, 3-2. 2 outs, runner at third, 1-0 Omaha leads. Eli Morgan looks in, gets the signs, ready to go once again. And the payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled back to the screen again. So give Fox a lot of credit here. No matter what Morgan does, Fox is making the adjustment. He's spoiling those pitches. Olivares leading away from third base in foul territory as Lucius Fox waits for another 3-2 pitch. Here it comes. Swing and a ground ball through the right side, and that'll be a base hit. Well, Lucius Fox worked for every bit of that base hit. It's an RBI single as Olivares scores, and that'll make it a 2-0 lead for Omaha. When you foul off that many good pitches, you're just waiting for something you can handle. And there he got it. Went down, got that ball, put it perfectly between the first and second baseman. Nothing that Bobby Bradley or Owen Miller could do about it. And that's going to bring to the plate Kyle Isbell. Popped up to third his first time up. First pitch. Breaking ball misses outside, ball 1. See if Lucius Fox attempts a steal here. And again, so many guys have. So many guys have been running on him. And the next pitch is a little bit low for a ball. Two balls, no strikes. It's not a bad count to run on because pitcher has to throw a strike. They do not run, and the pitch is outside for a ball. So Morgan, who cruised through the first 2 innings, and the first 2 outs here in the third, has given up 3 consecutive hits, allowing 2 runs in the process. 3-0 pitch is outside, and that's ball 4. So now the 2-out walk to continue the top half of the third inning. Gavin Collins, the catcher, is going to slowly go out to the mound and have a talk with his pitcher. Try to get him settled down a little bit here before Ryan McBroom steps up to the plate. And that's really all it is right now. Just get him calmed down, get him back to where he was earlier in the game. And now at conference at the mound, Rico Beltran, the pitching coach, will go out to join it. Well, he gave up a hit to the number 9 guy, but essentially this is the second time through the order. And we were talking about this a little bit earlier in the game. You know, that first time through, if you're having success, that's great. The hitters are charged with making the adjustment the next time they come up, which in turn, the pitcher's responsibility is to make sure you get them out again. You might not be able to do it the same way. In fact, if the hitter's good, and if they're doing their job, you shouldn't be able to get them out the same way, because you should have to vary up what you're doing. So that's where Morgan is right now, starting through this order second time. There you see first and second base, 2 outs. Ryan McBroom at the plate. Struck out swinging his first time up. Got him with off-speed pitches, actually. And the first pitch to him this time is low, and that is ball 1. Again, Morgan not overpowering. 87 to 90, maybe a little 90 plus on the fastball. It was effective early in the game just by changing speeds and by hitting his spots. Next pitch, he does hit the spot. That's a strike. Uses the fastball to find the outside corner. Count evens at 1-1. In the outfield, Bradley Zimmer, who's playing center, is shading the right-handed hitter a little bit toward right center field. They play him straight away in both right and left. Pitch is tapped foul at the plate. And actually, Lucius Fox, who's at second base, bluffed a steal as Morgan was beginning to make his delivery to the plate. One and two, as Morgan's got McBroom on the ropes here, but again, Ryan McBroom is a big power hitter. Power hitting first baseman, so you cannot make a mistake. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and lined into left field. That's a base hit. Fox is waved around. Up with the ball in left is Mercado. His throw is cut off, and they've got a runner hung up between second and third. And they run him back towards second. Flip the ball again to Jones, and he will run him down. So they give up a run as Fox scores on the RBI single by Ryan McBroom. But then the second runner, or the man that was on first, that was Kyle Isbell. He got himself hung up between second and third, and after the rundown, the Clippers take care of business, and they get him out. But in the meantime, 3-run score in the inning on 4 hits, and as we go to the bottom of the third base, Omaha, or to the bottom of the third inning, Omaha leads 3-0. Well, the Clippers come to the plate in the bottom half of the third inning, having given up three here in the top of the third inning. By the way, if you're wondering how that last out was scored in the top of the third inning, McBroom gets the RBI single. Kyle Isbell is out 754-635. Sounds more like a zip code. 754-635. Leading things off for the Clippers is Ryan Lavarnway, and he takes the first pitch outside in low, ball 1. Lavarnway batting .318. He's got 3 home runs and 9 runs batted in. One of those homers and 4 of those runs batted in came last night. Pitch taken for a called strike. Lavarnway hit a grand slam in the bottom half of the 8th inning that put the Clippers on top of the Storm Chasers and lifted them to the victory, as it turned out. Next pitch a little bit low for a ball. It's 2-1. So Lavarnway gets to hit today. He's not behind the plate. He's just the designated hitter. No catching duties. Most catchers will tell you that's all right. Any day you get a day off from being behind the plate is a good day. Pitch is fouled back, especially if you get to keep hitting. It's now 2-2. Well, that ball that he hit out of the park last night was to left field. And it was one of those balls that was hit so hard that it was kind of still going up when it left the park. It wasn't a high towering shot. It was just one of those right off the bat. You just know it. It's a screamer. Next pitch swung on a slap foul off the end of the bat up the first base side. So Lavarnway stays alive at 2-2. Right-hander Jackson Kowar struck out 3 over the course of the first 2 innings of this game, has yet to give up a hit. The only base runner came via a walk. Next pitch, swung on and fouled back. Lavarnway in quite the battle right here. He's trying to get more pitches. Trying to find something he can handle. Ryan Lavarnway, 33 years of age, Woodland Hills, California. Gets settled back in the batter's box, a right-handed hitter, awaiting the next pitch, and it's now on its way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him to chase the fastball up in the zone. And for Kowar, that's his 4th strikeout on the evening. That'll bring up the number 9 hitter, the catcher, Gavin Collins. Collins, another right-handed hitter. Looking for his first hit of the year. And the pitch is fouled out of play on the first base side. And a strike 1. Collins playing in just his 4th game, but he comes into this game 0 for 10 at the plate. He's been on base 3 times this year via a walk. Next pitch, swing and a miss. 97 miles per hour as Kowar gets it up there in a hurry. Second baseman is shading Collins right up the middle. Next offering, he's down low for a ball. Kowar knew he had a pitch or 2 to waste right there. So he tried to get Collins to chase. One-two on its way. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and it's a good pitch by Kowar as he got Collins way out on the front foot ahead of that ball with a swinging strikeout. And with 2 outs and Omaha leading by the score of 3-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd inning, we go back to the top of the Clippers order. Oscar Mercado will be the batter. Mercado 0 for 1, grounded out his first time up. Bouncer to third base. Emmanuel Rivera took care of him that time. Here's the first pitch, and it's a curveball that stays high and inside. That's ball 1. Again, last night when the Clippers hit the ball, they hit it in bunches. Fastball down and away. But there were spots in that game, especially early, where they just couldn't get the bats going. Kind of similar to where they are right now. They're being dominated by Jackson Kowar, but he is beginning his 2nd trip through the order. Pitch is swung on. High fly ball into right field. Anderson Miller backs up, now comes in a few steps, and he makes the catch to retire the side. 3 up and 3 down go the Clippers in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And Omaha is leading in this game by the score of 3-0. Eli Morgan back to the hill as we go into the top half of the 4th inning. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming up for the Omaha Storm Chasers. Mabry's Valeria will lead things off. Valeria singled into center his first time up. He was then caught stealing second base. Morgan brings the first pitch, and it is taken for a called strike 1. Morgan, 57 pitches, 38 for strikes so far in this game. Next pitch, swung on a line, right back up the middle, and that's a base hit. Actually looked like it came off the bat more sharply than it did. Shortstop Gabriel Arias moving to his left. All of a sudden it looked like he might have a chance to pull it in, but it still was able to elude him and get right up the middle into center field.
Well, with all the changeups Morgan has thrown, that was a changeup off the bat of Valoria.
Yeah, that's right. It's like he threw fastball and Valoria hit a changeup. Batter now is going to be Emmanuel Rivera. He struck out his first time up. It's part of that strike him out, throw him out double play that ended the inning. And the pitch is down low for ball one. And again, Valoria ran a couple of times when he was on base the first time. Let's see if they'll do that again. Again, they have not been shy about trying to take the extra base here. Olivares stole the base last inning. He stole third. Breaking ball stays high. Gavin Collins trying to pull that one down into the strike zone. Couldn't sell it. Count is 2 balls and no strikes. Turning a throw to first base, and Morgan turned whilst he was right in the midst of going into the stretch. And again, he knows if you're looking to run, this is a good count to run. 2-0. Any count where the pitcher more than likely has to throw a strike. And maybe even a fastball, that's where you're going to take advantage. Pitch swung on, grounded to third. Up with it, Jones throws to second for one. Miller on to first. That's a double play. Right around the horn, 5-4-3. And there are 2 outs and nobody on now. That's a great job. Runner not going anywhere, and just the easy, really tailor-made double play ball.
You know, we talked about Nolan Jones when he came up the first time and did not come away with a hit. He has had a rough go at the plate, but he has not taken that out into the field. We've seen him mostly at third base. He's played some right. He's played at first, and he has done a really nice job. He hasn't had to make too many spectacular plays, but he just looks confident and smooth defensively for the Clippers.
Anderson Miller at the plate. First pitch was low for a ball. Here's the next one, and this one is in there for a strike. Yeah, it's a good key that you bring up, too, because when you're new to AAA, you want to make that good impression. You're struggling at the plate. If you take that into the field, then everything just compounds on you, right? In fact, sometimes the organizations want to see how tough you are mentally. They want to see how you do react, and if you do take it into the field. There's a swing and a miss, and the count goes to 1-2.
It's easy for a young guy to do. Seems like he's been able to separate those two.
Next pitch outside for a ball. And that's good because, let's face it, I don't care what level you're playing at. It continues in the major leagues. You're going to go through slumps. You might get off to a slow start to start the season. If I can't have you play defense because you're not hitting, then you're in big trouble. Pitch is fouled back, and the count holds 2-2. Not that any organization says, hey, kid, I want you to go through like an 0 for 20.
Right.
And still make your defensive plays. They don't say that.
We want to make sure we really round you out. We're going to ask you to.
But the funny thing is they don't say it, but they're evaluating you on it
Sure.
at the same time, right?
Absolutely.
Pitch is fouled back again. Straight back to the screen, 2-2.
And it's valuable for a player to look at this as an opportunity because you're going to have stretches, no matter who you are, where things aren't going well for you if and when you make it to the major leagues, and you got to find a way to pull out of that.
Another 2-2, and finally, Morgan gets what he wants. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, and nobody left on base. Clippers come back to the plate, trailing 3-0. Well, the fans here waiting to see some offense from the Clippers. And it's been tough going here because Jackson Kowar has done a fantastic job of keeping the Clippers hitters in check. And he is going through the order for the second time. Daniel Johnson coming to the plate. He's been the only base runner. He walked in the first inning, went to second on a wild pitch, but was stranded out there after back-to-back strikeouts. Starts to get to be that twilight time here in the Arena District. hard to have a better day. It's
Ooh,
low
perfect.
70s, low humidity, no wind. Pitch is taken for a called strike. I think, what do they call that in San Diego? Oh, just today.
Right.
Today, tomorrow. Maybe more wind.
A few more clouds
Yeah.
here than you'd have out there,
Yeah.
probably.
Pitch is high for a ball.
It's one of those days that end in Y.
Yes. But, we appreciate it.
You better believe it.
Next pitch grounded toward the second baseman. They had to shift on, but really just hit it to the second base position anyway. And Escobar throws him out at first base, one away.
We're going to get to some scores coming up a little bit later on, Bob, but I want to draw your attention to something. It's still a young season, right? But if you are playing your 11th game, as are the Fredericksburg Gnats, and you are 0-10 and you're down 11-2 in game number 11, has this already been a long season?
Where are they playing?
Ouch.
At home?
They're at home against Delmarva.
All right, I'll answer you right after. Let's say this pitch is down and away for a ball to Owen Miller. It's not a long season completely because you're in a brand new ballpark, in a brand new situation. So you're probably packed, or as packed as you're allowed to be in Virginia. Right. Pitch is fouled down the right side and out of play. I'm saying there's interest. So if there's anything that's going to keep you afloat,
Man.
because, other than that, you're looking around saying, what's going on here?
0-10 and down 11-0 after 3 innings.
Yeah, that is tough. Pitch is outside, clangs off the catcher's mitt, and rolls away. Now, if that continues, it won't take long to take the luster off that new ballpark.
Correct.
And that, because I believe they were supposed to move last year. They were in Woodbridge, Virginia, that franchise. Pitch swung on and chopped right at the second baseman. Again, Escobar up with it, and he throws on to first. I used to work for that franchise a long time ago. That's why I know this. But it was it was a bad park. There were 3 softball fields around the stadium where, like you'd go there.
Right.
You'd go there on a game night, and there'd be like 3 beer league games going on outside. And so they get this brand new gem of a ballpark right on I-95, and then apparently they're not very good. So, but such is life in the minors, right? I mean,
Right.
You kind of get what you get.
Kannapolis had a 1-0 shutout victory today to snap an 0-10 start to the season.
Well, they didn't waste any offense in doing it.
No.
Pitch outside for
that?
ball 1 to Bobby Bradley. He's 0 for 1.
2 teams in the same league starting the year 0-10.
That is what's unusual, for sure. Next
Goodness.
pitch swung on a miss. Here's one thing I wonder, though, because that league is now the low A classification.
Right.
Right? So, which is crazy because it used to be high A, now it's low A. But it is, you got a lot of young players. There's a lot of youth coming in at that level as the pitch is swung on and missed by Bradley. Because with the leading of the rookie leagues,
Right.
now you're pushing a lot of guys to that level. I'd be interested to see for about 10 minutes the level of play. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because how different is it with the youth that is there now? Pitches down low for a ball. You and I were talking about this off the air. Even at AAA, you used to have more guys that had big league time than you do now, and it's because of they're pushing younger guys up. Some guys are going to go and play independent ball and then maybe get signed later in the year. Or maybe if they get released, it's going to take going to independent ball before you come back.
You're seeing more go overseas as well.
Yeah. Count is 3-2 on Bradley. The pitch swung on, high fly ball, deep right center field, and that is gone. No, they say it hit high off the wall and not above the yellow line.
Bobby thought it was gone from the looks of the way he was heading towards second base. He wasn't exactly sure. Well, I tell you what, 3 years ago that's a home run because a few years back the Clippers raised that home run line. It used to be that gray line that goes across at the top of the bricks. As we see on MILB.TV, that one came down just below the yellow home run line. It was raised up to be even with the 22-foot Pedialyte porch in straightaway right field, so that robbed Bradley of a home run, keeps him to a long single.
Yeah, that's the whole thing about it. Not only is it not a home run, it's a single. He's still at first. But it does keep the inning going, and Gabriel Arias is at the plate. And the pitch is fouled out of play on the right side, strike one.
Well, not only 3 years ago, but 2 nights ago, that's a home run because the wind would have been blowing out to right center field. If it gives it an extra 5 feet of giddy up, it's over the wall. But tonight, those flags hanging straight down out in straightaway center field. Still in all, good to see Bobby with that kind of swing after falling behind in the count.
First hit of the game for the Clippers right there. Here's the pitch. It's in the dirt outside, bounces away from the catcher. Bradley will wind up at second base on the wild pitch. Second one thrown by Kowar in this game. Now, I was watching a video earlier today.
YouTubing it?
YouTubing it. Of, who was it? The Cubs were playing in
playing Detroit the last
Jock
couple days.
Peterson thought that he hit a home run.
Oh, yes.
And
that
it got
was
caught on the
that was
track.
last week. And it didn't even come close to being a home run.
And it was a John Boy video I was watching. He was doing the breakdown. You watch those? They're hilarious. Hilarious. But anyway, there was a tweet from a guy that's like this
I've seen the
sports weather guy, right? That it breaks it down, and it was saying his pitch swung on a miss, and it was saying that he was trying to break down the atmosphere in Chicago, and that's why the ball didn't go out. But yet the stat tracker and the launch angle said it wouldn't have went out anyway. Never watch the John Boy videos?
Good night, John Boy.
Oh. See, that's the beauty of having a teenager in the house. And he goes, hey, Dad, watch this. And you go, that's a dumb. Well, no, it's not so dumb. It's pretty funny. Pitch is high for a ball.
I've got 3 teenagers in the house, and I don't listen to a thing they say when they show me their phones.
Well, I'm not saying I pay attention to everything, but.
You're officially part of TikTok generation.
No, it's not that. It's a YouTube. I'm not into no. They do that too, and I don't do that.
That's where you draw the line.
It better be pretty good before you bring that to me. Let me just say that. Pitch is down and away. Did he check his swing to appeal to first? Yes. Arias was able to hold it back. Count is full 3-2. Bradley's at second base with 2 outs here in the inning. Omaha's leading 3-0 as we play in the bottom of the 4th. Yeah, even like, hey, Dad, you want to play this on Xbox? No. No, come on. Yeah, I know how that works. You tell me the rules after it benefits you.
He's trying to take your money.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you. Just do this. Hit this button. Yeah, thanks. Pitch is inside for ball 4. And Arias goes down to first base. That'll bring up Bradley Zimmer. And it's also going to bring Dane Johnson, the pitching coach of the Storm Chasers, out to the mound. Now, it's ironic here because Jackson Kowar he was great through the first 3 2/3. He's only recently got in trouble here. And the ball that Bobby Bradley ripped off the wall in right center field, and then he threw the wild pitch. And now Arias is able to work him for the walk.
Yeah, he's been rolling pretty good. Now think back to the top of this inning, the top of the 3rd inning. 2 quick outs for Eli Morgan. Not able to put the final nail in the coffin. The inning kept going and going and going, and now the Clippers are 1 swing away from knotting this one up. And boy, if there's a guy who's due.
Yeah, and Bradley Zimmer is 0 for 1, but he hit the ball well his first time up. Gave it a ride to right center field.
46 minor league home runs in his career in 361 games for Zimmer.
They give him all of the right field line that he wants. Just has to get it over the head of the first baseman who's playing deep. First pitch is there for a called strike 1. Shift is on. The shortstop, Merrill, is playing just on the second base side of the bag. The only one on the left side of the infield is Emmanuel Rivera, the third baseman. He's playing off the line at third. But they've got 3 infielders on the right side. Pitch is swung on a missed. Count is quickly 0-2. But again, beyond that, the right fielder, Anderson Miller, is playing almost in right center field. So if you hit a line drive and get it over the head of McBroom, the first baseman, you can run for days.
And Zimmer can run.
2 men on, 2 outs. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, that conference at the mound paid dividends because Kowar settled right down, and on 3 pitches, he ends the inning as he picks up his 6th strikeout of the night. No runs on a hit and 2 men left on base. It's still Omaha 3-0 as we go to the top of the 5th. Well, the Clippers down 3-0. And we head into the top half of the 5th inning. And the Storm Chasers have their 8-9-1 hitters coming to the plate. Back to the microphone is Ryan Mitchell.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. Alcides Escobar fouled out to the catcher first time up. Eli Morgan has 4 strikeouts, 6 hits allowed, and 3 runs. First pitch here is a called strike, 0-1. Check the Major League scores in this inning, brought to you by Huntington Bank, proud title sponsor of Huntington Park, the home of the Clippers, as Escobar fouls one to the sweet level on the first base side. Cleveland Indians are still out west. Next pitch is swung on and hit up the third base line about 20 feet. Down to a knee as Collins spins and fires almost blind to first, and he threw a dart to Bobby Bradley for the 2-3 put-away. That is a tremendous defensive play for Gavin Collins.
I'll tell you what, he hesitated at first. He wasn't sure, and then when he came out, as you said, down to his left knee, he slides, picks the ball up in one motion, popping back up to his feet, and he just uncorked it. He wasn't sure. He thought it was a foul ball at first, and as soon as there was no indication, then he went, oh, I got to make this play. And he did, and he made it in spectacular fashion.
Sure did. First pitch swinging. Kevin Merrill comes up empty, 0-1. Cleveland Indians out in Seattle. They'll start at 9:10 tonight. Tristan McKenzie on the hill. Top prospect for the Indians coming into this season. Appeal on a check swing denied, 1-1. Going up against another former highly rated prospect for the Indians, Justice Sheffield, who has had several stops along the way, but is now 2-3 for the M's with a .491 earned run average on the season. Next pitch, fastball, strike called on the outside corner. 1-2 now to Merrill.
Well, he wasn't very happy about that one.
He was not.
Thought that one was too far outside.
1-2, just low. Change up, he laid off.
Now he's even.
Might could be. Call it 2-2. Top of the 6th inning in Pittsburgh. The Giants on top of the Pirates 6-2. Giants are having a really nice season, 23-15. Pirates not so much at 16-22. Crawford, Ruff, and Talkman all with homers for the Giants. Full count now. Morgan has his sign, goes into the motion. Oh, boy. A close thing off the inside corner makes it ball 4. And that's a 1-out walk.
Well, if he wasn't even before, he's even now. That's for sure.
That's going to do it for Morgan from the looks of things. Here comes Andy Tracy. He is the Clippers skipper. And there is activity in the Clippers' pen. There has been, and so we are going to get ourselves a pitching change. With the Clippers down 3-0 in the top of the 5th inning, we will come back after these words and tell you all about it. Omaha Storm Chasers lead the ball game 3-0. They've got a man on and a man out batting in the top of the 5th inning, and the newest member of the Columbus Clippers roster is on to pitch. Matt Cook will take over as Morgan went through the lineup twice. He will not face them a third time. Edward Olivares, who doubled, driving in a run, and then came around to score in that 3-run third, is the scheduled batter. Cook last pitched stateside in the Arizona Diamondbacks organization, parts of 4 seasons in the bigs with the Diamondbacks. He was drafted twice, first by Boston. Did not sign. Then drafted by the Mets in the 3rd round of 2012. Traded from the Mets to Arizona in the Addison Reed deal. The right-hander kicks and fires, and a fastball hits the outside corner for strike one at 92 miles per hour. Koch, 6'3", 215 pounds. Added to the roster today, 30 years of age. 36 major league games, a .488 earned run average over that time. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. There's a ground ball Taylor made right to the second baseman. Flip to the shortstop. Rainbow throw to first from Arias, leaping over the sliding base runner. That's a 4-6-3 double play and the end of the top of the 5th inning. Halfway home from Huntington Park, the Clippers have the short end of a 3-0 score. Bottom of the 5th inning. Clippers down 3-0. Come from behind victories have been frequent in this series over the last 3 days. Each winner faced a deficit in the late innings and won it in their last at bat. Nolan Jones to the plate for Columbus. Bottom third of the order due up here. Jones, Lavarnway, and Collins. First pitch is over at the knees for a called strike at 95, 0-1. Jones 0 for 1 on the day. Takes a pitch off the inside corner. Evens things at 1-1. We'll get back to the major league scores. Yankees lead at the Orioles 5-0, bottom 5. Jones swings and misses another fastball with some life. 1-2. Braves on top of the Brewers 4-0 in Milwaukee, top of 5. The Braves have hit some hard times. They are 2 games under 500 now. Off-speed pitch swung on and missed. Jones is put away. Kansas City Royals, parent club of these Omaha Storm Chasers, up on the White Sox 4-0. Sal Perez with his 9th home run of the year. White Sox are 23-14. Kansas City, after a hot start, now 4 games under at 17-21. The battle of the Lone Star State. The Astros lead the visiting Texas Rangers in the 4th inning, 4-1. Blue Jays at home, or what passes for home for right now, which will not pass for home in a couple of weeks, which is still not home. But they lead 3-0 against the Phillies. They're playing in Dunedin, where they have their spring training. Come June, they will move to Buffalo at Salem Field to play their home games, as they did in 2020, until and unless the border opens up with Canada, at which point they will return to, is it still called Rogers Center up there?
Yes, it is.
Formerly Sky Dome, the Major League Park.
I don't think they're going there anytime soon.
Could be a while.
That's like a night and day, what's going on there.
1-1 pitch, big empty swing from Ryan Lavarnway, make it 1-2 now.
Although I will say, I believe the National Hockey League has kind of put a ultimatum and a deadline on the Canadian government. Well, they've said to them, look, we have to know by this time if playoff games in Canada are possible or not.
Well, you've got a division playing just all the Canadian teams.
Right. So the first 2 rounds, they're set.
Right.
But once it gets to that semifinal round, then one of those Canadian teams will be in it. So, whether it's Toronto, Winnipeg, I think those 2 have the best chance. Are we going to be able to come in here and play or not? That's the question. Because if not, then they'll probably shift that team maybe to Buffalo to play. So those are the discussions that are going on. So what I'm saying is maybe if you could get that going.
There's a called third strike to Lavarnway on a fastball that froze him for strike 3.
Maybe if you could get that going, you could get baseball back in there, because the Blue Jays have been, they've been grifters for the past year plus now,
Yeah.
right?
Well, now, last year there weren't fans most places. But this year, if there is a place in minor league baseball that can get you close to or close-ish to major league capacity, it is Salem Field. It's the biggest ballpark in the minors in terms of the number of people you can put in there. It was built, of course, under the impression that they could retrofit it into being a major league ballpark. 1-0 pitch, swung on, hit to shallow center field. Isbell started back, comes in, can't get there. He laid out to try and make the catch, but Gavin Collins dunks it into center field for a 2-out single.
Well, with hits hard to come by, you'll take them however you can get them. And you mentioned Isbell laying straight out, but you can see he's well short of getting to that ball. And, he can lay out. A lot of times center fielders, if you dive, there's nobody behind you. But on a bloop like that, somebody else is going to be there. So he sold out, but it wasn't enough. And, look, he gets the number 9 man on base. Get you only your fourth base runner of the game, your second hit of the game, and you got to start somewhere. Why not with 2 outs?
Jackson Kowar has done a very, very nice job living up to the billing, the top 4 prospect for Kansas City. 2 hits, 2 walks, a bevy of strikeouts. He's got 8 of them. Delivers outside to Oscar Mercado, who is 0 for a couple, a ground out and a fly out. Reds trailing at the Rockies. It's been a rough season for Colorado, but they lead 2-0. In the top of the second. Diamondbacks at home lead after an inning against the Nationals 3-1. There's a pitch in for a called strike, 1-1. Here are some finals. Tampa Bay beat up on the Mets with a lot of late inning runs. Francisco Lindor a homer, but not enough as Tampa Bay 12-5 over the Metropolitans. Twins beat the A's 5-4, and the Tigers walk it off against the Cubbies in 10 innings. 9-8 the final score. Michael Fulmer gets the win. Red Sox blank the Angels 9-0. That's the other final today from Fenway. Here's a hard ground ball, but to the third baseman. Rivera's got it. He'll go the short way to second for the force. And the Clippers, despite a hit with 2 outs, are put away quietly in the 5th. 6th inning coming up after these words. It is 3-0. Storm Chasers in front. Top 6, 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Storm Chasers. Matt Cook back out on. He induced a double play to get out of the 5th inning after a 1-out walk. They're dancing here at Huntington Park tonight. They haven't had a whole lot to cheer about offensively so far, but just being able to be at the ballpark is good enough for most.
Yeah. Some people really get excited about being able to go out these days.
You ain't kidding.
That's a good thing.
So the first batter, Lucius Fox. Back in the 3rd inning, he had a single. That drove in a run, and he would come around to score the 3rd run on Ryan McBroom's RBI single that resulted in the final out after a lengthy run down at 3rd. Here's a square by Fox. He pulls back at the pitch running in on him. And it's ball 1. I gave you the Major League scores. How about some Major League birthdays? Because this is a big day. May 15th. Former Clipper Michael Brantley. Now 13 years in the Major Leagues.
Wow.
Josh Beckett, one of the most ballyhooed pitching prospects of his generation, turned in a nice Major League career. Very nice indeed. 2-0 pitch is a whisker outside, 3 balls, no strikes. And a couple of Hall of Famers. One of my favorite pitchers to watch as a young man, John Smoltz. 21 years in the major leagues and one of the best all time. And we're talking about the AAA Omaha Storm Chasers, the former Omaha Royals, longtime AAA affiliate of the Kansas City Royals. You talk about George Brett. You want to talk about a competitor. All you got to do is go on the internet machine and search Pine Tar. There's a slider on 3-1, a little bit high for ball 4. Pine Tar game, and you will see a look on a man's face that tells you that baseball is the most important thing in his life. The way that George Brett went screaming out of that dugout after they called him out and ejected him from the ball game for having pine tar that exceeded the length on the bat allowable by Major League Baseball rules. I mean, you've heard the phrase thrown around like his hair's on fire. I mean, because of his hair, it looked like it was literally on fire, flying up in the air all over akimbo. And you'd like to think he was coming out there to commit some sort of assault that was going to wind him up in a prison. First pitch here is a called strike to Kyle Isbell, 0-1. Happy birthday, George Brett, one of the best all time at the hot corner. No doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer.
I bet you don't even have to put in pine tar. You put in George Brett. You might not even get past George. And
That's right.
And that
you probably get some Costanza stuff, but yeah.
Which is totally the opposite.
Oh, boy, here's a pitch way inside after a square on a bunt, and it hit him. Isbell down like a bag of hammers in the left-handed batter's box. Well, they have squared twice here against Cook. That one hit him on the foot, on the back foot, where that shin guard does no good at all.
Well, the frustrating part about that is you got a guy willing to give himself up. Right? That's free out. And you get it too far inside, and now you've got first and second with nobody out. Next guy's not going to square, and it has nothing to do with what just happened on that play. It's because it's the cleanup hitter who already has a hit today. They'll be looking to hit the ball to generate some runs here.
Yeah, McBroom is 1 for 2. Had a single in the third inning, and that was his first non-extra base hit of the series. Prior to that, 2 doubles and a homer. You'd love another double play ball here. There it is. Ground ball to the shortstop. Arias feeds over to second, and Miller's throw to first is right on the money for a twin kill. On to third goes Fox.
You're pretty good at that.
Sometimes you just get a sense.
Ask and you shall receive. Gee whiz. I mean, not even a questionable one. That was that's how you draw them up. 2 hopper to the shortstop.
Executed very, very well. So if I gave you
I don't like
your
the way
choice
this is starting.
of George Brett or Michael Jack Schmidt, who you put in third base to start your team?
Oh, man, that's hard. I'll say George Brett, and I'll tell you, growing up a Pirates fan, I hated the Phillies. So as good as Mike Schmidt was, and I know he's really good, that's why I don't like him, because he's really good, and he played for the Phillies. So I'll take George Brett. I don't think it could go wrong either way, but that's I'm just telling you why I'm making just inane reasons I'm making the decision. How's that?
Listen, I don't ask the easy questions in here, pal. Schmidt, a 3-time MVP. 1-0 pitch. That's in the dirt. Gets away from Collins, but not far enough. Schmidt, of course, the pride of Dayton, Ohio. I think you might have to give the edge to Schmidt for defense.
Yeah.
And a more prodigious home run hitter. Brett had 317, but 665 doubles, 250 more than Schmidt. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, and that got him on the foot with a foul ball. Ouch. Man, these Storm Chasers are going to need a podiatrist after this one.
Yeah. They might be wearing boots by tomorrow afternoon. Schmidt was, again, great player. Don't get me wrong.
Averaged 37 home runs over 162
games.
games.
It's just ridiculous. But You talked about the doubles that Brett had, and just well, you were talking about the way you described him on that Pine Tar incident, the way he came out. I mean, that's kind of a, to me, that's leadership stuff right there, you know? And I'm not saying Mike Schmidt wasn't a passionate player, but you remember one thing about Mike Schmidt right now, this second, where you can go, oh, man, I remember when he was so passionate about that. Like, I just remember he's a calm guy that made every play and hit the ball out of the park.
And a tremendous mustache.
Yeah, tremendous mustache. But, either way, you're not losing many.
No, you got a pretty good guy over there at the hot corner, no matter what. Foul ball makes it 2-2.
That's a good question. That's a make-you-think kind of question. That's why I struggled with it.
Runner at third with 2 down here. And now time is called. I don't know if we got
Must have a bad bat.
Yeah, he must have tapped it on home plate and heard something he didn't like.
Hey, I heard there's no hits in it, so he'll go get a new one.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah.
Now, those two, I think, are pretty clearly the cream of the crop. But now, let me throw in, if you can't have those guys, I think my next guy is Chipper Jones.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I like that.
Played a fair bit of outfield. And then, I mean, boy, there's a lot of talent there. You talk about Wade Boggs, who's not a home run hitter, but just ate chicken and got hits.
Yeah, just not necessarily in that order. But
Paul Molitor was more of a DH.
Yeah.
There's an inside-out swing, and that's a good one. It's going to drop into left field on 2-2. Just a easy swing from Villoria, and it'll score Fox from third and another run for the Storm Chasers. 4-0 now. Omaha on top in the top of the 6th inning. Emmanuel Rivera to the plate.
Told you not to let him get that bat.
Yeah. Well, and here's another name I'm going to throw at you.
Yeah.
I think he's going to wind up in the Hall of Fame, Adrian Beltre. Now, that's not a name that sounds like it belongs in that company. But you go look at the numbers, and you'll find a very surprising baseball reference page. Here's the pitch. Cue shot to first. Boy, that's a tough hop for Bobby Bradley, and he did a really nice job to stay with it, glove it, step on the bag for out number 3. That's a good defensive play. It comes, however, after an RBI single that makes it 4-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Four to nothing, Omaha in front of Columbus. 5th game of this 6-game series. We are currently tied 2 games apiece. The Storm Chasers with 3 runs in the 3rd, another in the 6th. The Clippers coming up in the bottom of the 6th, trying desperately to land some punches on Jackson Kowar. All they've been able to throw at him so far is a couple of walks and a couple of singles. Kowar has struck out 8. There is activity for the Storm Chasers in the bullpen. Right-hander down there throwing at a leisurely pace. Haven't caught a number yet. I believe it's Andres Sotiet, who the Clippers roughed up in the first game when he had to make a late spot start. Daniel Johnson fouls away the first pitch.
Well, let's see here. We got for pitch count on Kowar, who just continues to deal.
Misses down and in on the next one. Kowar is at 84 pitches. 49 strikes, 35 balls. The 1-1 is up. 2 balls and a strike. Clippers also have activity in the bullpen after Matt Cook pitched an inning and 2/3, gave up a run on a hit, walked a man, no strikeouts. Johnson takes outside, 3-1.
Well, for the first time here, Kowar is trying to catch the corner, and he's missing it a little bit.
His pitch is hit on the ground, scooped up by McBroom at first base. The race to the bag will be won by Kowar as he takes the underhand flip for the out. Johnson went down to get that one and maybe helped Kowar out a little bit. Thought it might have been a little bit low, but it is the first out. Let's take a look at this date in Clippers history. Brought to you by Donato's. What pizza should be. May 15, 2015, the Clippers overcame a 5-0 deficit in Pawtucket, scoring 3 times in the 8th, twice in the 9th, and once in the 13th. To down the Red Sox 6-5, Francisco Lindor went 3 for 6 with a triple and 3 runs batted in. He'd spend one more month with the Clippers before moving on to the major leagues, finishing second in the American League Rookie of the Year voting behind fellow shortstop Carlos Correa. Both of those guys are going to be paid big dollars. Lindor already is. Correa, a free agent scheduled to be after the season, will definitely get a contract with a lot of zeros on it.
Yep. Earned in both cases.
Yes, indeed. Correa has battled injuries over the past several years, and that's going to work against him. This upcoming, now Lindor's no longer in it, but this upcoming free agent shortstop class, unlike anything anybody's ever seen before. Lindor signing, and of course Fernando Tatis Jr. signing over the offseason, is taking some of the luster off that, but man, there's still some good names out there. Seager, Correa, Story. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed off speed, and Miller was out in front. He's 0 for 2 today.
Think there'll be some change of address forms that are filled out with some of those guys?
Well, Trevor Story is going to get traded. There's a fastball high to Miller, 2-2. I don't think there's any doubt about that. The Astros probably feel like they have the inside track for re-signing Correa. 2-2. That's low, full count. And again, with Correa's injury history on the open market, when he's healthy, he's so darn good. But you can't necessarily count on that. Payoff pitch. High chopper to the shortstop. In between hop. Well, that's a nice dig there by Merrill, but his throw to first is not in time. Hustle Miller does it again.
You've talked about this, I think, every day this week. You brought up how Miller hustles out every ball that is hit. You know, some guys, you hit it and you can tell I might have a chance to get on. This guy doesn't care. He just hits it and he runs. And it's a great play at shortstop. Kevin Merrill gives himself every opportunity. But look, Miller just sprinting. I mean, that's a dead out. The hard 90, as they say. He's got nothing in him but that. And that's a great job to beat that out for a hit.
Certainly is. We're going to get a new pitcher on for the Storm Chasers, and the Clippers could not be happier to get Jackson Kowar out of this game. They're down 4-0, batting in the bottom of the 6th. We'll be back after these words to tell you about the new Omaha hurler. Stick around. Well, the Clippers have finally gotten the starter out of the ball game. More a pitch count situation than anything else. Owen Miller legs out another infield single. And Andres Sotiet will head to the hill. Clippers down 4-0. Bobby Bradley to the plate. Bradley has singled and struck out today. Sotiet was a spot starter in the first game of this series. Overshift on against Bradley. Here's the pitch. Called a strike on a generous outside corner. Sotiet 1-0 with a 1350 earned run average this year. 6 runs, 8 hits in his 4 innings of work. Misses outside. He has walked 6. That's a bad number. He has struck out 6. That's a pretty good number over 4 innings. Bradley can cut the lead in half with one swing of the bat here. The 1-1. That's a strike call on the inside corner. A fastball at 94 with some life puts Bradley in a 1-2 hole. Talking about the likely upcoming free agent shortstop class prior to the break. I forgot about Javi Baez.
How'd you do that?
I guarantee you teams that need a shortstop didn't forget.
Well, again, it comes back to that, as you said, to start it off. So many guys. It's such a long list.
I don't know if there's a player in baseball that has a better tag than Javi Baez.
Lost start. Hey, I mean,
1-2 fouled back.
lost start, the good tag.
I mean, I don't know how, there's no metric for it, but how many outs he gets per year that another defender wouldn't, just from his ability to make the catch while moving the ball to the runner he needs to tag, instead of catching it and then moving it. 1-2 pitch. Inside out swing and a foul ball.
I disagree with you. I think there is a metric for it. I don't think anybody's gone to the trouble of developing it, but I guarantee you there is one.
Somebody knows.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
somewhere.
And if they didn't, they know now. They go, you know what, that's good. Let's look at that. But you're right. I mean, to be able to catch the ball in such a way where you're always moving it toward the runner, it's not the easiest thing to do. You're adjusting. He can still adjust to throws and make that motion.
Bradley turns around a breaking ball, but foul down the right field line. It's right over the head of the pitcher down to the bullpen for the Clippers, Manuel Alvarez. So, I mean, I guess one of the issues with that free agent class is how many teams are going to need a shortstop and how many can afford the 9-figure salary over the course of the contract that will be required. Bradley swings and misses over top a breaking ball, heading toward his shoe tops for strike 3.
You know, that sounds weird. I know what you're saying is accurate, but 9 figures, crazy.
Well, and they're not even 9 figures anymore. You're starting to creep up into the mid-9 figures, these $300 million contracts. Francisco Lindor, what did he sign, 341 or 342? It was one more than what Tatis Jr. got from San Diego.
Huh.
The pitch. Strike on the outside corner called against Gabriel Arias.
Unlikely they'll ever coach.
They're not going to need the money.
No. It would certainly be for love of the game.
Here comes the 0-1. And that's a wild one. In the dirt. Kicks over to the Clippers on-deck circle. That will send Miller on to second base.
And I really bring that up because I know you've dealt with this the same way I have, where there were guys that were really good players and big-name players in their day that in the time I was doing minor league baseball, they were coaching.
Sure.
And, you know, some of them, they were doing it because, you know, they wanted to get their years in to get into the merchandising deal. And some of them were doing it just because they didn't want to get out of the game and they loved it. Some, it was a combination of that. And, but there were some big league guys I grew up watching that I was like, this is cool.
Line shot, right field corner, fair or foul, foul ball. Cody Clark says so. As it came down, it went out of our point of view into the right field corner, so you got to rely on the umpire. Arias made a bid for extra bases and an RBI, but hit the sidewall, about 10 feet foul.
Yeah, that took a hard slice right near the end.
You know, there's a list of notable free agents for after this season, and there's a lot of guys who are going to wind up with a 9-figure contract. Arias down to the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Chopper to the mound, off the glove of the pitcher. Out toward Escobar at second base. He will hold because by the time he got there, no chance to throw out Arias running hard up the line. They're on the corners now for Bradley Zimmer.
One of the hardest things to do because it's a complete reaction is to leave it alone.
That's right.
When it's coming up the middle for the pitcher. And if Sautier doesn't get the glove on this ball, then it's going to be an out. Once he does, he tips it even higher in the air, and that gives Arias the time that he needs to hustle that out to first base. So the inning now continues.
Bradley Zimmer at the plate, 0 for 2. Overshift on against him. Here's the pitch. He takes in for a called strike, 0-1.
Well, we keep saying we're waiting for Zimmer to come through in a big spot. And he keeps winding up in these big spots. You feel like eventually it's going to happen. Is this going to be the time right now?
0-1 pitch. Inside, almost hit him, gets away. That's another wild pitch. Arias moves to second, but Miller holds at third. Now a base hit with 2 outs, scores a pair.
Yeah, it's good heads-up base running. That's what you should do. The only way you don't take off there is if you get caught watching what's going on around you. The guy from third, he's not coming home because that doesn't trickle far enough away to warrant him trying to get the plate. But at first base, you've got to be paying attention. The minute that ball hits in the dirt and you see it get away, take that extra base. As you said, now base hit could get you 2 instead of 1.
Here's the 1-1. Down the left field line. Base hit. That's a fair ball, and 2 are coming home. Zimmer racing around first. The ball rattles around in the corner. He's got second, but he will stay there with the play in front of him. Boy, a big clap of the hands for Zimmer out at second base. That has to feel good for that young man. And hopefully the start of something big for him to get right. Right now he gets the Clippers on the board, and they are down a pair. It's 4-2 in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, just taking the ball on the outside part of the plate, serving it inside the left field line, just like you should do with a couple of strikes on you. Great piece of hitting right there. And as we said, he keeps coming up in those situations. Eventually it had to happen, and it happens right there. And now, not only do you cut that lead in half, but now Zimmer's at second base. He's got good speed. A base hit here should score him too.
And this is a kid that needs it. Nolan Jones looks at a pitch way inside for ball 1. The bottom third of the Clippers order today, Jones, Lavarnway, Collins, a combined 1 for 6 with 5 strikeouts. All of that coming against a starter, Jackson Kowar, who really looked good throughout his outing. That run scored by Owen Miller is charged to him. The book is closed now as Jones takes a pitch at the very bottom of the zone for a called strike, 1-1. Kowar, 5 1/3, a run on 3 hits, 2 walks, and 8 punchouts. The 1-1. Fastball with life, but it moved outside. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, same situation we just talked about with Zimmer. Here's Nolan Jones. As you said, he needs it. Comes up in a situation again where he has a chance to deliver. Base hit would be a big hit right here for the Clippers.
2-1. That is low. 3 balls and a strike. And Jones has been hitting from behind a lot. Now in a good hitter's count. See if he can find one in the nice part of the strike zone for him. The pitch. Oh, boy, he took the home run rip. He got a fastball, but he could not find it, and it's 3-2.
You're absolutely right. That was one where he gets it, he's going to break out in a big way.
Zimmer leads away from second base, 2 down. Payoff pitch. Lifted in the air down the left field line. It's got some slice to it. It's going to get foul, and it will be out of play.
And they wanted the same pitch as the previous one. That was a little bit of an inside-out swing that sent it the other way.
Fans, don't forget, Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action kills weeds, prevents crabgrass, and strengthens weak grass. One application, triple action. This is a Scott's Yard. Sautier trying to finish off this inning. 3-2. Inside, and he walked him. Ball 4. That's a good trip to the plate for Nolan Jones. It doesn't result in a hit, but he sees a lot of pitches. He battles on 2 strikes. And he winds up at first base. He represents the tying run. Michael Shawarren is loosening in the bullpen for the Storm Chasers. And we're going to get a visit here from Dane Johnson, the pitching coach, trying to buy some time.
Well, Sotiet made that spot start earlier in the week and initially looked good and then was out after a relatively short outing. Same thing going on right now. He comes in, he gets first guy on a strikeout. He got Bobby Bradley on the strikeout. And then Arias winds up getting the infield hit. Again, he's directly responsible for that because he tipped the chopper back toward him. Then he gives up the double to Zimmer, and now it's a 2-out walk. So he's put himself in his spot here. And he knows that this could be the last batter that he faces if he doesn't get Ryan Lavarnway out right now.
Well, Lavarnway had the big swing last night, a grand slam to put the Clippers on top and give them the win. Got a chance to do the same here. Swung on the first pitch, got a breaking ball that hung in the zone. He just couldn't quite square it up. Strike one.
Tried to do it right there. That was a good swing. And he waited on it. As you said, he just didn't measure it out. And to be honest, he doesn't need the home run right here. You know, you got this pitcher kind of on the ropes a little bit. Again, a base hit with 2 outs and Zimmer at second base should score him. So just get yourself a good solid single to start things.
0-1 fastball misses outside. Ball and a strike to the Clippers' designated hitter tonight. Clippers fans get a free on-your-side review from Nationwide, and a local agent will work with you so you can get customized coverage to meet your needs and your budget. Nationwide is on your side. Sotiet has his sign, kicks and deals, and a swing and a foul ball. Gets a big piece of Mabrice Viloria. He has taken foul balls off of Clippers batters. He has taken foul balls off his own bat. He has, well, he better have his insurance paid up because he has been getting nicked all over the place in this series.
Now, where did this one get him? I wonder.
He got one that bounced off the dirt and came up and got him just above the knee on the inner thigh yesterday. I mean, you know when you get back there, this is a hazard of the job. You just see him shake his head right there and say, man, this is a tough job, but come on, let's do it.
Yeah. Remember, he also took that one flush off the top of the foot yesterday.
Yep. Yeah, when he was down in his crouch with the knee down. And then the foul ball today that dropped him in the left-handed batter's box. Now, he got the last laugh on that one because it turned into an RBI single. In fact, he's had 3 singles today. So the Clippers don't feel bad for him at all. He's back behind home plate. The runners are at first and second. Here's the pitch. High chopper foul, third base side. Lavarnway was fooled, was out in front, but was able to get a piece.
Yeah, nice job by Ryan there. Just to find a way to continue in this at bat. It was a pretty good pitch. He just spoiled it.
Bradley Zimmer, a 2-run double, has gotten the Clippers on the board here. They trail 4-2. Lavarnway trying to have something to say about that. Here comes the 1-2 from Sotiet, and it is smashed foul this time off the facing of the dugout. Clangs back out onto the field of play where the third baseman, Emmanuel Rivera, will pick it up and throw it back into foul territory.
He might be lucky,
is ready.
He might be lucky to get away with that last pitch. That was a much better pitch than the previous one. The previous one, that was Lavarnway finding a way to stay alive. This one, maybe a sigh of relief breathed by the pitcher.
1-2. Fouled away once more. Lavarnway takes some practice cuts. That Louisville slugger. It's got a yellowish tint to the finish there. He's swinging a school bus. 1-2. Good take on a breaking ball, low and away, evens the count.
Tell you what, for a guy that has struck out twice in this game, one time looking, he's working hard right now.
This has been a battle, no doubt about it.
This is one of those times in a game. You know, momentum is different in baseball than it is in other sports. It builds and hangs around for a little bit. This is one of those momentum shifting types of innings.
Next pitch, this one's chopped to the shortstop. They'll have to throw to first. The throw is there in time. The battle is won ultimately by Sautiet. But 2 runs come in to score for the Clippers on a Bradley Zimmer 2-run double. We go to the 7th inning. It's a 4-2 lead for the Storm Chasers, and Bob McGilligan has the call after this.
Well, the Clippers able to get a couple of runs, and now we go into the top half of the 7th inning, bottom third of the order coming up for Omaha. Anderson Miller is going to lead things off here, and he'll face a new pitcher for the Clippers, Manuel Alvarez. Right-handers on the mound. Takes over for Matt Koch, who winds up in this game going an inning and 2/3. Charged with 1 run in his time on the mound. He allowed just 1 hit. He walked 1, hit 1, and didn't strike out anybody. So Alvarez comes on. He pitched here on Thursday against the Storm Chasers. 1 scoreless inning, no hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Anderson Miller ready to step in. He's 0 for 2 in the game. He's grounded out to the first baseman, Bobby Bradley. He's also struck out swinging. Alvarez becoming the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Clippers, and the pitch is swung on and missed by Miller. Activity also continues in the Storm Chasers bullpen. Next pitch, same result, swing and a miss. 97 miles an hour on that fastball for Manuel Alvarez. Four to 2, Omaha has the lead. Next pitch, that one stays high. Well, didn't let up on the velocity. Continuing to bring it, 97 miles an hour. Left-handed hitter digs back into the batter's box. And this one is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Alvarez punches out the first man he sees. 1 away in the inning. Alcides Escobar, second baseman for the Storm Chasers, 0 for 2 in this game. Last time he was at the plate, he bounced one just beyond the plate up the third base side, and Gavin Collins came out from behind the plate and made a terrific sliding play to pop up and throw him out at first base. First pitch, Alvarez hoists to the backstop. That is ball 1. Prior to that, Escobar popped up in foul territory to Collins, so he hasn't hit it very far, not past the catcher. That's just a fact. Next offering, taken all the way for strike. Alvarez continues just to come out and pump fastballs. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors, and 2 men left for Omaha. The Clippers have 2 runs on 5 hits, nobody left on, or no errors rather, and 6 men left on base. Next pitch off speed and high, but swung on and missed. So the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Alvarez works from the stretch with nobody on base. Back to the plate he comes. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Manuel Alvarez. And that'll bring up the shortstop of the Storm Chasers, Kevin Merrill. Kevin Merrill's been to the plate 2 times in this game, and he's been on base both times. First time, it was a 2-out single in the 3rd inning that actually sparked a 3-run 3rd inning. And then in the 5th inning, he walked. This pitch, he tries to get out of the way. I believe it hit him. And that was a pitch that came inside. He was trying to leap out of the way. Was unsuccessful in doing that. So Merrill slowly starts to walk toward the first base bag. And it caught him right on the toe of the front foot. That's the right foot. And unlike so many other batters, he does not have that protective shield covering the front foot. So
it hasn't helped many of those guys.
Well, that's true.
He just figures, why waste the time of slapping the Velcro down? It's going to find the the bare spot anyway.
Good point. So he gets on with 2 outs. Top of the order comes back around. Edward Olivares is the batter, and he is 1 for 3. He's 1 hit, an RBI double back in the 3rd inning. He's also stolen a base, scored a run. First pitch, he hits high in the air toward right field. Daniel Johnson backing up on the warning track, reaches up and makes the catch right in front of the wall for the final out of the inning. So the Storm Chasers come up empty. They leave a man on base. It's 7th inning stretch time at Huntington Park, and the Storm Chasers lead the Clippers 4-2. Well, as we go into this bottom of the 7th inning, the Clippers have the 9-1-2 hitters coming to the plate, and they will face a new pitcher as Kyle Zimmer is now on the mound. Sotiet goes just 2/3 of an inning, and he winds up getting charged with 1 run on 2 hits, 1 walk, and no strikeouts. So Zimmer takes over on the mound. And Gavin Collins is the first man that he will face. Kyle Zimmer pitched on Wednesday here against the Clippers.
Well, for the first time, he faced his brother. They'd never faced each other before, and Mama Zimmer was happy on both accounts. Because Bradley got the base hit into left field, but the Clippers, while a man was trying to come around to score, had a guy thrown out at third before that run scored to end the inning. So Bradley won the battle. Kyle won the war.
It's hard for Mom to be happy on both ends, but that was well described. First pitch is inside, ball 1. I mean, what are the chances, right? As a parent, you're sitting there and say, one's going to succeed, one's going to fail. Wait a minute. They both kind of succeeded. Except Bradley's saying, no, I beat him. I got the hit.
Yeah, he gets the big turkey leg at Thanksgiving.
Pitch is fouled back. And the count is a ball and a strike. Gavin Collins today is 1 for 2. He had a base hit last inning, and that base hit came with 2 outs. Or that was in the, not last inning, that was in the 5th inning.
It would take something pretty unusual for those two to meet here with Bradley due up 7th in the inning.
Yes. To which I would say it'd be wonderful if they did face each other.
Well, 7 guys come up. Kyle's probably out of the game.
Right. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike now on Collins.
He's on a major league rehab assignment, so he's got a very specific task that he's supposed to accomplish tonight, hopefully as well as possible. But they get a certain number of pitches, face a certain number of batters, get the feel, leave healthy.
Pitch is low and outside for a ball. It's 3 balls and a strike now. That was one of the things that was always frustrating about when guys would come down on major league rehab assignments. I think from a fan standpoint, you expect them just to dominate. Whether it's position play or not, they just dominate. And they don't realize that there are those things that they're working on. Here's a ground ball to shortstop. Up with that is Merrill, throws across the infield in time for the out. And especially with the pitchers. You know, sometimes you'll see he throws a pitch in a count where you're saying that, well, if you were in the big leagues, you'd never throw that pitch on that count. Yeah, but whatever the injury was, maybe he's got to throw more curveballs to see how the elbow feels, whatever. And then the hitters, they really get, you know, like if you don't have 3 hits a night, fans are like, well, what's wrong with you? You're a major league player. This is a minor league pitcher. What are you doing? So it's hard to win the PR battle there.
You're right about that.
First pitch to Oscar Mercado, and Mercado takes it down low for ball 1. Oscar is 0 for 3 in the game.
Well, you know there's going to be a pretty good spread after the game.
Yes.
Down in the clubhouse.
Yes, that is true. Major league guys usually take care of the minor league guys when it comes to the post-game meal. That is absolute truth. Pitch is taken down low for a ball. That was one thing that some guys always look forward to when the guy was coming on a rehab assignment. It wasn't that they knew him well or during spring training they had a locker next to him or all that. It was, we're going to eat tonight. It's not going to be those leftover hot dogs from the concession stand tonight. Next pitch, swung on a foul back.
Although in this day and age, with all the changes that have gone on to the minor leagues and, you know, player nutrition and safety and health protocols and all that stuff, I don't know if they're allowed to buy the spread anymore. You got to get everything pre-approved.
That would be unfortunate for the other guys in there.
Well, when you take things and average them out over what they used to have, they still come out ahead.
Right. Yeah, that's true. 2 balls and a strike. Mercado awaits the next pitch from Zimmer. Here it comes. Slap foul down the right side. Come on, tell me you never showed up in the clubhouse after the long post-game show and there's still a couple steaks in there. And
I've seen them.
And the trainer says, go ahead, get one.
I've seen them.
Those weren't bad days. Go ahead, take one. Well, I hate to see these thrown out.
That's right.
Here comes a 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Boy, he didn't pull the string. He yanked the chain on that one. That was a great change of speed. And there are now 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, that's a big league pitch right there.
First strikeout for Kyle Zimmer. And Daniel Johnson will be the batter.
Yeah, there's no more loaf of bread and jar of peanut butter down there.
No?
Those days are long gone. Now, that's never been the case at AAA. But some of the lower levels of the minor leagues are far better off with their nutrition than they were even just a few years ago.
First pitch, and Johnson takes it for a strike at the knees. I was talking when I came in today, as I come in the security entrance every day, I talked to Marvin. I've known Marvin for years because he used to be the visiting clubhouse guy over at Cooper Stadium. And he told me that he was talking to an old player today or at some time recently, and the guy said, if you couldn't find ice cream or a candy bar in that clubhouse, that was on you. And he was absolutely right, because I could tell you I knew where they were too, no doubt. Swing and a miss on a curveball. That was one of the great things. I mean, it wasn't, especially in the later years, it wasn't one of the greatest clubhouses that was left, but I knew where the fridge was. Zimmer back to the plate, and Johnson checks his swing. Zimmer would like to have an appeal. And catcher doesn't ask for it, and home plate umpire doesn't ask for it. So it's 1-2. They stacked the infield defense for Johnson to pull the ball. Even the third baseman, Rivera, is almost shading him up the middle. That's how far off the line he is. Pitch is swung on and missed. That is strike 3. Even with that shift, they don't have to employ it because Kyle Zimmer gets back-to-back strikeouts, and that caps off a 1-2-3 inning. We move to the 8th inning of this game. Omaha still on top. The Clippers 4-2. Ryan Mitchell back on the mic after this.
4-2 as we go to the 8th. Omaha on top of Columbus here at Huntington Park. Night has fallen. A beautiful evening. 4,066. The attendance tonight at the old ball yard. 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Storm Chasers. Fox, Isbell, McBroom, and they will take on Daniel Young, who has entered from the Clippers bullpen. Young, the left-hander, 6'3", 194 pounds, out of Boca Raton, Florida, 26 years of age. 3 runs on 7 hits in 5 innings worth of work so far this year. Here's a bunt out in front of home plate. Who's it going to be? Collins grabs it, throws to first, not in time. Did everything he could do. Got it there quickly, but Fox was sly enough to get over there.
See what you did there. I like that. That's about all that you can do to try to make that play. That is a perfect bunt.
Yeah,
quite frankly.
And Collins, boy, made a great throw. It was right on the money. Kyle Isbell to the plate. He bunts. This one's foul, though.
Last time he tried to bunt, he took one right in the leg.
Yeah, that didn't work out so hot. It did, however, factor in a run because it pushed a man from first to second. A following double play pushed that man to third, and then he scored on a single. In tight at third, Nolan Jones. Early square, here's the pitch, and the bunt is foul once more. Now, we have seen in this series, in circumstances where the Storm Chasers want to lay down a sacrifice bunt, they didn't take it off with 2 strikes. We'll see if the trend continues here. Isbell officially 0 for 1. He's walked and then been hit by that pitch after fouling one off himself, trying to bunt.
I say he swings.
He's not squaring early. He does not square late. He takes strike 3. Called over the outside corner. Big K for Daniel Young.
I was wrong, too. He didn't swing. He should have swung.
A lot of people fooled on that one.
But again, you know what? He's the number 3 hitter, so not often do you ask your 3 hitter to bunt. If you're going to do that, he gets 2 strikes. I would have been amazed if he was squared again.
Throw goes to first, and the runner goes back. Let's check the scores. Brought to you by Huntington Bank, a bank invested in people. Gwinnett pounds Louisville today down at Coolray Field, 11-1 the final. Buffalo 7-3 winners over the visiting Rochester Red Wings. Durham crushing Jacksonville tonight at DBAP, 14-3. Wander Franco had a grand slam and nearly had another for the Bulls, who have just scored early and often tonight. Top 8 in Charlotte at Truist Field. It's 7-3 Knights over the Norfolk Tides. Both teams sub 500. Indianapolis at home leading Toledo 5-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning. There's a high chopper to the shortstop. Is there time to turn 2? We'll find out. 6-4, 4-3, double play. Nicely turned all the way around. Arias, Miller, Bradley. And that is how the top of the 8th inning comes to a close. Bottom 8 after this. Clippers still trailing 4-2. Well, for the Clippers, it's the heart of the order due up here in the 8th inning, and they need this part of the order to produce. Columbus down 4-2. Owen Miller has been held to 1 hit tonight. Now, for most guys, that's a pretty good night. But Miller, ladies and gentlemen, we have not even played 2 full series. He's got 5 3-hit games. Now, we're probably going to have something crazy happen for him to come up twice more. And I'm talking about the Clippers sending a whole lot of guys to the plate because we're in the 8th inning for him to have an opportunity. But he does have a chance to get a multi-hit game. Leading off here in the 8th inning, it is still Zimmer on the hill. Miller singled and scored back in the 6th. He is 1 for 3. He'll be followed by Bobby Bradley, Gabriel Arias, and then Bradley Zimmer. And there is activity, a left-hander throwing in the bullpen for the Storm Chasers. So it would not at all surprise me if Gabe Spire comes in to face the next man, Bobby Bradley, regardless of what happens here. First pitch, breaking ball, strike one. Zimmer got back-to-back strikeouts on off-speed pitches in the 7th, getting Mercado and Johnson. This is a good test here for Owen Miller. Seeing a guy that's on a major league rehab assignment who has had sharp stuff tonight. The 0-1. Fastball fouled away the opposite way. So Owen Miller deep in the hole, 0-2. More scores. Nashville in the bottom of the 7th coming up, and they don't have a hit tonight against the Memphis Redbirds, but there's no score in the ballgame at First Horizon Park in Music City. Here comes the 0-2. How about Owen Miller? Opposite field, line drive, base hit, down in the count 0-2 against a guy who has been pretty well dealing. Owen Miller is ready for prime time. Leadoff single brings the potential tying run to the plate. Left-hander Bobby Bradley looks up the third base line at Andy Tracy, who's going through the signs. Do you think Bobby's bunting here?
No, I don't.
No?
No, I don't.
I think you're probably right.
I might just pack up and go home if he squares.
Top 5 in St. Paul, one apiece between Iowa and the Saints. Finals from earlier. Worcester beat Syracuse 10-5. Lehigh Valley on the road gets a 5-4 win against Scranton Wilkes-Barre. Zimmer has his sign, goes into the motion.
Oh,
see you, Bob.
I'm out.
Bobby Bradley just squared to bunt, pulled back at a pitch downstairs.
What the heck is going on? This guy ripped one almost out of the park his last time up, and then he squared around. But it was a ball.
Maybe he was baiting him.
Right.
Trying to get that third baseman to play in and smash one by him.
Here, throw it at my bat this time, and I'm going to take a full swing.
Well, he got a breaking ball. See if he gets a fastball here. Zimmer deals. Big rip. And fouled back to the screen.
He got something 84 miles an hour that time.
Three defenders right side. Outfield shades a bit the opposite way against Bradley. The reigning IL home run king waits. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball, and that is past McBroom, but gloved by the second baseman. The shift works out. Escobar picks it up and throws to the covering Zimmer for the out. Well, he doesn't get a sacrifice on the play, but he moves the runner on to second base. Miller's in scoring position.
That's why they play that shift. Have the second baseman move toward the line, so he was in position to make that play. Let me ask you this. Like we're joking around laughing about that bunt attempt. Was he trying to put it on the third base side and get a hit, do you think?
Well,
was that a sack bunt?
It's tough telling. He set up pretty early, but because the pitch was so low, he never really made an attempt to judge whether or not he was trying to really place it on the third base side. So we'll never know. Gabriel Arias at the plate. Home run pop. We've seen it. Pitch to him. Breaking ball. Fouled away.
He literally just got on top of that ball and beat it into the ground.
Well, with the lefty down in the bullpen, well warm, and a left-handed batter due up, I don't know that we're going to get another Zimmer-Zimmer matchup, but Bradley is in the on-deck circle.
Come on, you got to let him face his brother, don't you?
He needs some revenge. Maybe this time Bradley will strike out on a wild pitch and a run will come in to score.
Yeah, right. But honestly, wouldn't you be begging off the mound even if the manager came out? Come on, man.
Sure. Here's the 0-1. Curveball swung on and foul tipped in and out of the catcher's mitt, 0-2.
What if they had a deal like, okay, the only way you can face him, it's got to be this situation. Your pitches have to be at this, right?
He's at 22. Mm-hmm. He's had a sit down and
It's not a lot.
get back out there.
It's not a lot. It's fine.
Well, you're really pushing for this.
Just
ball.
want to see it. You got
Time
to see
called.
the first one. I didn't see the first one. I want to see it.
It was a lengthy battle. Bradley won it with an opposite field base hit. The pitch. Check swing and a pitch down. Appeal to the field umpire behind the pitcher's mound. You're rarely going to get a positive result on that one if you're the catcher. And the appeal is denied, 1-2.
I don't know why I thought about this right now, but you know, with the umpires wearing the masks, it really makes them, helps them out if they make a bad call. They're still able to get out of the building. People don't recognize them.
Here comes the 1-2. No, a spin around by Zimmer. Looks the runner, Miller, back to second base. Miller started this inning with a single. Went to second on the fielder's choice. Your everyday 4-1 putout.
Every day in this day, because of the shifts.
Wouldn't have seen that much 5 years ago.
No. Would have been a base hit for sure.
Now the 1-2. Back to the curveball, and it's a ground ball to the shortstop. The only play is to first. The throw is in time. And Arias is out 6-3.
Moment of truth.
Now the skipper just left his position,
Yeah,
heading
he
toward
did.
the stairs,
Boo.
and
Boo.
that's going to be that. And Bradley Zimmer was trying to dig in quick enough to where the manager wouldn't have any choice. He just kind of looked up and said, oh, man, I wanted to have another chance. Well, Kyle Zimmer, he didn't want any part of it. He handed the ball off right away. So this guy got me last time. I got to get back to the showers.
Sorry, bro.
That's right. Pitching change coming your way here. No Zimmer-Zimmer matchup tonight. But really, more importantly for this game, the potential tying run is at the plate as the Storm Chasers go to the bullpen. We'll tell you about it after this. Gabe Spire on the pitch, left-hander against a lefty Bradley Zimmer. Zimmer last time up doubled, plating 2 runs. That cut the lead in half, 4-2, and that's where we are. So Bradley Zimmer was gearing up to face his brother. But instead, he will face Spire, 5'11", 200-pound lefty out of Santa Barbara, California. Acquired from the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2018 via trade. Clippers have a right-hander in their bullpen, so it is all hands on deck today. First pitch. Misses the outside corner with a fastball, 1-0.
A couple of California boys going head-to-head
Yes,
here.
indeed. Next pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed, 1-1. Here's the 1-1. Fouled back to the screen. A ball and 2. Well, Spire comes in with a runner at third. So a little bit of pressure on to not spike one. He's well ahead in the count, trying to put this bottom of the 8th inning to bed. 4-2 Storm Chasers on top. The offering to Zimmer. Ooh, just a whisker wide. Spire was walking off the field.
Yeah. Which sometimes will not help you in your next pitch.
Can have an unendearing effect from the home plate umpire.
But Veloria held that ball there like, are you sure? That was pretty good.
Want to give you an extra look. 2-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3, went up the ladder. Zimmer couldn't find it. He's down on strikes. The Clippers get a leadoff man aboard, but cannot score him. And so as we go to the 9th, it's still 4-2, Omaha on top of Columbus. Mabry's Veloria to lead things off. A left-handed batter, and Daniel Young, the lefty pitcher, stays out there. Young gave up a hit, but induced a double play ball in the 8th. Right-hander warming up for the Clippers, so this could be a one batter situation before DJ Johnson comes in. 4-2, Omaha on top. They have led since scoring 3 runs in the top of the 3rd inning. Clippers struggle to get anything going against Jackson Kowar, the starter who went 5 1/3. Neither bullpen has been overly effective in this series, to tell you the truth.
I just love the tone of voice you said that. You're right, but it's almost unbelievable, right? Because you're thinking, okay, somebody's going to be no, not today.
Late innings, each team has found a way to score runs against the back of both bullpens. Young with a nasty pitch and a swing and a miss by Valoria for strike 1. Clippers bullpen was just dynamite against the Louisville Bats. And that happens sometimes. Everybody kind of has a hiccup at the same time. Called strike to Valoria on the inside corner makes it 0-2. We've seen them all be very, very good at the same time as well. Hopefully it's more of that as the season goes along than the latter. Young ahead 0-2, delivers. Boy, that's a nasty slider that must have been a tick low because it certainly looked like it got a lot of the plate before nestling into the catcher's mitt. Valoria 3 for 3. 3 for 4. Swings and misses at another breaking ball. That one was farther outside than the last one, but he bought. Down on strikes, and here comes Andy Tracy. So indeed, Young was out there to get the left-hander. He got him. We'll step away. We got ourselves a call to the bullpen. Top of the 9th inning, Omaha leads by a 4-2 score. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the Columbus Clippers. May not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Columbus Clippers. DJ Johnson takes over on the hill for Daniel Young. Johnson's been pretty good out of the Clippers' pen. Bases empty, 1 down. Clippers trailing 4-2, and Johnson's job is to keep it that way to give the offense a chance in the bottom of the 9th. Looking ahead, it's the bottom third of the order due up for the Clippers. Jones, Lavarnway, Collins. Johnson's last outing was really his lone bad outing for Columbus so far. First pitch fastball is high for ball 1. 2 hits, 2 runs, no strikeouts in a third of an inning 2 days ago against these same Omaha Storm Chasers. Gets a swing and a miss at the high hard one to even the count at 1-1.
Well, his job here is clear. Keep this at a 2-run ball game and give your team a chance in the bottom half of the 9th inning.
All told, in his other 3 outings, Johnson has 2 saves, 3 innings, no hits, 5 strikeouts. 1-1. Breaking ball finishes low. Emmanuel Rivera hitless on the day. He's been up 3 times, and 5 outs have been recorded with him at the plate. Strike him out, throw him out, double play in the 2nd. Ground ball double play in the 4th. And then a ground out to first base his last time up in the 6th inning. Time called as the catcher, Collins, wants to head out to the mound to make sure they are on the same page.
I wonder if DJ's having a hard time seeing the signs because he just, right before that, he had taken 2 fingers and pointed at his own eyes and then in toward the plate. And then Collins comes out there to have a conversation with him. So maybe he's having a hard time seeing. Now, sometimes when that's the case, the catcher will stop on the foul line and try to put some chalk on his fingers. He didn't do that. So maybe it was just a simple communications matter. They had to talk it out.
Here's the 2-1. Shot foul the other way. Well, before that pitch, Collins didn't go with finger signals. Went with the almost third base coach. Mask, shoulder, knee.
Maybe that's a talk. Hey, I don't know what that is. Yeah, they'll do whatever now.
2-2 breaking ball hit on the ground to the shortstop. Arias down on it, fires a dart to first for out number 2.
You know, actually, I'm glad it was just a conversation about like seeing the signs or figuring it out, because it was right after that pitch that was called a ball. It was low. When I saw him pointing at his eyes into the plate, my first thought was, well, I hope you're not telling an umpire to open his eyes.
Yeah, you're rarely going to see a pitcher do that.
No, I know. But even if he's not saying a word, some guys could interpret that like, are you talking to me? I'm not talking to you.
I don't think Jonathan Parra had that in his mind.
I'm talking to him. I'm not talking to you whether or not you can see that ball should have been a strike. I didn't say a word to you about that.
2 outs, bases empty. Nice bender in for a called strike. Bob, you have a well-known and well-versed disaffinity for officials of any kind.
Yeah. Not here to watch them.
Oh, 1 pitch. Another breaking ball. This one misses down and in. Evens the count at 1-1.
It's funny because now that my son's not playing travel ball anymore and I'm not coaching, I said to my wife, I think I should umpire.
I'd pay to see that.
I would get into an argument. It would be like it'd be like a 10-year-old game, and I'd argue with a coach. I know what would happen.
1-1 pitch. Just up. 2-1.
Could just see it. Look, are you going to try to tell me? You know how much baseball I've seen in my life? Are you serious right now? Would not be fun.
That would be worth the price of admission to a free ball game.
Well said.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Foul down the left field line, well out of play.
And I know I've told you this before when we've worked together. Like, the officials I met, they're good guys. They're nice guys. That's why I try not to meet them, because it's easier to not like them if I don't know them. When you know them, you're like, he's a good guy. He just made a mistake.
Here comes the 2-2 pitch from DJ Johnson. Breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 3. The big bearded one does his job. Comes in, gets 2 outs, and we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Clippers. They're down a pair. It's 4-2 Omaha. Last hacks for the Clippers here with the bottom third of the order due up against Gabe Spire. The Clippers need 2 runs to tie. 3 will win it. This series tied 2 games apiece. If Omaha holds on, they will have at least a split. And they'll go for the series win tomorrow. The Clippers trying to prevent that here. Nolan Jones has been up 3 times today. Strikeout, walk. Ryan Lavarnway in the on-deck circle, then Gavin Collins due up. Jones trying to get going here. First pitch taken for a strike called on the outside corner. A fastball, 0-1.
Well, it sets up nicely for Omaha. I mean, you go into the last inning, you're up by 2, and you've got the 7, 8, 9 hitters, so you're right where you want to be in the lineup.
They've got the platoon advantage here. Lefty-lefty matchup. Breaking ball is outside, and the second baseman, Alcides Escobar, is playing as deep in right field as you are going to see a second baseman play. It's got to be 35 feet out there.
Yep.
1-1, breaking ball, hit in the air the opposite way. Edward Olivares camps out almost right where he started and makes the catch. 1 down for Ryan Lavarnway. Last night's hero. Best he can do right now is make it a 1-run game.
Well, even though there's just 1 out here, look, you just need to get a guy on base. Bring the tying run to the plate if you get a guy on base. can do the old bloop and the blast theory. As you said, take the blast first. Who cares?
Get something going.
Yeah, just got to get some guys on base.
First pitch to Lavarnway. He takes a big rip but fouled it off. DH tonight, Lavarnway is 0 for 3. His season batting average, .280. 3 home runs, 9 runs batted in for him.
Well, you know for sure Spire is going to really try not to leave anything over the plate. He knows what happens if he does.
Breaking ball bent around the outside corner. And yet you can still be aggressive here because, as I said, worst case scenario, Lavarnway parks one. It's still a 1-run game. You've got the lead. What you don't want to do is walk a guy here. You can't give up any free bases. 1-1 hit high in the air to right field, not deep. Miller coming in, and he'll make the catch, 2 away.
Lavarnway knows he missed it because that was a pretty good pitch. That was one that he thought he could do something with, and you could tell by the way he ran up the line with his bat like he was ready to spike that bat, and then he just opted not to. But he was frustrated. That was a pretty good pitch, and he just didn't get it the way he wanted to.
So that'll leave it up to Gavin Collins to keep this one going. The 9-hitter is 1 for 3, a single in the 5th inning. First pitch. Takes a rip and comes up empty, strike 1.
I'll leave it to Collins to be the last hope here. He's got to get on base to keep this thing going.
We said it earlier, both bullpens have struggled in this series, but tonight, by and large, they've been pretty good on both sides. There's another swing and a miss, 0-2.
But it's another night of a lot of pitchers.
Now, fortunately, both teams have a lot.
Yeah.
The roster's expanded to 28 this year, and that's not even a hard number. .02. Fastball high, 1-2.
Is that something that they're thinking about keeping, or is that a COVID thing, or do you know?
I think that's. I don't think that was COVID related. Going to 28 on a AAA roster. Of course, many years ago it was 24. Then they bumped it up to 25, same as the majors a handful of years ago. And this year, 28, with some taxi squad guys you can mix in there as well. There's a possibility of a AAA roster having as many as 33 names on it. Good luck finding locker space.
Good luck finding enough playing time. Talking about development, I mean, you get to a certain number, it's like pitching-wise, you're not going to have enough innings.
It can be a problem. Here's the 2-2. That's down and in, full count. Now, a lot of guys will tell you can never have too much pitching, but
you can at one time.
You can all at once when you're trying to find innings for everybody. Now, early in the season when pitchers aren't overly stretched out, it's great. You got a rotation. You can get people through there. We get into July and August, could be tougher. 3-2 pitch, just inside. Collins knew it the whole way. He was sprinting up the line before the ball nestled into Valoria's catcher's mitt. So that will bring the tying run to the plate in the person of Oscar Mercado.
I'll tell you who didn't know it, Gabe Spire. And Spire, for the second time in as many innings, showed his frustration to the home plate umpire. Again, maybe that doesn't matter. I'd squeeze the heck out of him if it was me because it would matter. But I'm just saying, here it is late in the game. You need to get one more out. Okay? Yeah, he didn't get the call. So be it. Get the ball and go back to work.
Mercado hitless today. First pitch breaking ball over the outer part of the plate for strike 1.
And he does. He goes right back to work. He throws that pitch and gets in front of the count.
Sometimes you just need a moment.
Right.
Time called. Oscar Mercado looking for his first home run of the year. This would be a great time. Any kind of hit would be welcome right now. Here's the 0-1. Fastball down and in, almost hit him. In the dirt, right between the feet of Valoria. Runner's not going anywhere in that situation. 1-1 count.
I thought he might try to sell that, but I think he wants a hit. I'll tell you what, there are a couple of big gaps in the outfield here, If Oscar can put the ball in the right spot, you can score the run. Maybe you can score the run from first. We'll see here, but you can certainly get yourself on base and bring the winning run to the plate.
Infield back except for the first baseman holding the runner on. There's another good-looking breaking ball for a called strike, 1-2.
Yeah, that's a second good breaking ball in this at bat. And again, he's starting it off the plate outside, breaking it back over that outside corner. So give Spire credit. He's got that pitch working. Let's see if he tries to use it to end the inning.
The 1-2 went to the fastball, got a swing and a miss for strike 3. Valoria holds on to the baseball, and that's your ball game. Omaha starts out with a lead and keeps it throughout the course of the evening, something that has been a rarity in this series, but they will win this one 4-2 with a chance to take the series tomorrow afternoon. We're back after this.